can you feel it? Nothing can save ya, cause this is the season of funky behavior. I came to relax your mind, you can recline. On what? On this here rhyme. I like the style, I'm staying for a while. It helps me show cats that I'm versatile. I'll touch your dial, turn your frown to a smile. I'll make you feel like you're having a child. So relax and open up, style. I'm about to make you walk what? Pimp style or pimped out style. You don't understand the logic. See, if you don't have it all, I'll take a deposit. I got shit for you, it's alright indeed. It's like going to the garden and planting the seed. It might tickle for a second, but it won't bleed. So just relax, just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just entertainment at the same time, edutainment. In other words, you could call it bent. What I'm saying is that I'm here at your service. It's hard work, but then again, I deserve this. I'm helping people enjoy their spare time. I'm like an instructor when I'm doing my rhyme. Relax and just hear the dope track. It's really not all that, it's not like a gag. We like that when everything is relaxed and chill. You don't have to get fucked up or take pills, cause I like being myself, it feels good. Yo, it makes my meals taste good. 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 So just relax. Here's your dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. My mind state, now balloon, it won't inflate. Just take the buzz, this much wiser kid, fuck the shade. And take it to a lower level, and dig a ditch for a devil. Got some more kids and pass the shovel. Dig a hole, take them on a spiritual roll. Lyrics unfold, either that or unroll the scroll. Episodes keep reoccurring and stifling. People's vision get blurring, their hearts start murmuring. I'm about 5 times iller than a Sherman. The introspection is God's gift to the miracle. I freak material, lamb's milk without the cereal. When MCs say your booty, they mean venereal. Your fake material hip-hop killers, they more faking than fucking Michael Jackson and Thriller. The status of a hoe, Quanto Costa. They wanna know how much it costs, kid. I bet for keep to me relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax and just hear a dope track. The vibes is real nice, everything is real fat. You don't have to do work, we do that. It's the type of place where you can wear your hat. Just relax. One, two. Let's see here. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing out there? Yes. And I'm back. Yeah, it was a wild morning yesterday, you know. And it just didn't get back on track on time. But now I'm back on time and back on track, and we're going to do it again. Now, man, yesterday, crazy news. Now, I don't know how many of y'all remember maybe like 2 streams ago, 2, maybe 3 streams ago, but just two days ago, maybe 3 days ago tops. Right. I was saying, you know, whatever happened to this guy, to this pipe bomber, right? That's what I was talking about. And I was saying the reality of it is that when this happened, Trump was in office, right? Yeah, he was the president when Jan 6 happened, right? That was Trump. In case anybody knew, he was sitting back in the White House watching on TV. He was getting reports. He was getting reports from the police, you know, about what was going on in Jan 6. He was getting reports about people outside, you know, a mob outside, hangman ropes, all of this shit.
and then a violent attack on the Capitol. He got all those messages. He also got the messages about a pipe bomber, a man, and he got the message that, hey, no one's found who the pipe bomber was. That the pipe bomber put a bomb in front of the DNC, put a bomb in front of the RNC, and that always stood out. So Trump had some time, to engage this issue, right? And what's up, Capitals? Let me see, Captain Black. What you say? What about the New Jersey lights in the sky? Oh no, I didn't see that one. Is it radio silence right now? Oh shit, I better check that out. No, I didn't see that. Yo, I didn't hear about that. Let me check. Let me look into that. Yeah, let's do that too. By the way, but listen, these are wild times. These are wild times. So I've been saying this for a minute. You can expect anything. It's past. It was past new. Okay. Well, yeah, but nah, I missed that one. But look, the U.S. has Donald Trump as the president, and anything can always happen any day of the week if you haven't figured that out. And this pipe bomber is one of them, right? The pipe bomber was one of them. Okay, that was last year. All right, yeah. But the skies, right? The lights in the sky. But listen, the pipe bomber was just one event. The pipe bomb was just one of it that happened, while Trump was in office. The Jan 6 storming the Capitol, that's just one thing that happened while Trump was in office. Shit happens when Trump is in office, and the shit that happens is usually some outlandish shit that you might not, really be able to imagine happening. Like, and people can go on and on. There will be people that the bottom line is you won't be able to criticize Trump no matter what he does. Hence, anything can happen because that kind of attitude leaves leeway for him to do anything. And they let him do anything. The Supreme Court let Trump pretty much do anything. I mean, this man took documents out of the White House and brought the shit home to his bathroom, a place where other people got to take a shit. That's Trump for you. And he took cases and boxes and boxes and boxes of it. This is outlandish stuff. Things no one else would have thought they could do. Somebody else might have said, I could take a page home. No, he was like, I can take boxes. This shit is mine. Nuclear secrets. Give it to me. Right. So we got this pipe bomber that happened Jan 6. And that was when he was on his way out of this bad boy. Right. That was what, 2024, right? Isn't that? No, I'm sorry. 21, isn't it? No, damn. What's wrong with me? Yeah. Was it 21? 20. It was 21, right? Now, yeah. So that pipe bomber's been gone. He came in when Trump was in power, right? That pipe bomber was out there when Biden came in power. The FBI couldn't find him, right? And look, and think about this. Lo and behold, just out of the blue, what all the garbage policing Kash Patel has been doing, all the garbage policing Pam Bondi has been doing, they just pulled this pipe bomber out of the hat like a rabbit trick or something. Like, I'm just saying that shit. I know one thing for a fact. It looks suspicious to me. And I know one thing for a fact. If the police don't know who committed a crime, right? The police maybe don't know who committed a crime. Well, the only other option is someone involved with the crime knows, right? That's the only other option, that one of the other criminals knows what was going on and who committed it, a co-conspirator or something like that. And I'm telling you, somebody putting a pipe bomb in front of the DNC, the RNC, I mean, on January 6th, the same day that this attack was going on, I'm sorry, it reeks of conspiracy. It reeks of conspiracy. If I mean, that's just my opinion, my own opinion, right off of the bat, the shit reeks of conspiracy. So I'm just like, okay, wow, so this is it. And so it's going to be amazing. But that's not the only shit happening. You got Pete Hegseth, Keg Breath bombing ships. Now, look, think about this. Americans are a lot of Americans come from immigrant backgrounds, right? One way or the other, right? Right. If you're not a Native American, then you have some sort of background that comes from somewhere else, right? Somehow, some way, right? And think about this. Even if you are American, let's say, just let's be real about this. Let's say, like my family, been in the U.S. since the colonial period, both sides, right? Let's just say that. Okay, so that's hundreds of years. So you trying to tell me that you don't have any type of family that lives anywhere else, anywhere in the Americas after all these hundreds of years? Not one other American nation, not Canada, not Mexico, not the Caribbean, not South America, just zero, no other place. Okay. I mean, if that's your story, there's a lot of people, a lot of Americans like mine whose families have been in the U.S. since the colonial period that actually do. I don't live in the U.S., number one. You see what I'm saying? So I live outside of the U.S., right? I live in the EU, even though I'm born and raised in Washington, D.C. Myself came to the EU when I was a grown ass man. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't want Trump just bombing any old goddamn place. You see what I mean? I wouldn't want Trump just attacking other Americans, other places where your family might live and all this shit. That's pretty hostile. That's pretty hostile. And not to mention the fact that as an American, these people are also Americans. They're also Americans. You never heard of Pan-American music? Right? You never heard of people influencing each other with music and food and culture, design? You never heard of that? Because it's happening all the time. You see what I mean? And I just take offense to Trump. I mean, he's an abomination as an American himself. He's an abomination, This man seems not only anti-human, but anti-American also, and just anti-globe, The dude seems like he just hates every goddamn body. And, it's high tide. People just get tired of him. But it's not up to me, because I didn't vote for Trump. I voted for Kamala Harris. Okay. So my brain works a little bit different from people who voted for Trump. See, my brain was like, the U.S. has never had a woman as president. That's not a good signal to send a daughter. If you have a daughter, that's not a great signal to send. You know what I mean? Yeah, she will think about it. Yeah, she's going to wonder if her daddy ever thought about it. Is that this kind of shit that tinkers around in her daddy's brain? Or is his daddy just like, I never thought about it at all. That's just how it is. You see what I mean? Well, I'm not that kind of daddy. I think about it. It concerns me. Right. Then the other thing is that not only that, the policies, just given the policies, again, healthcare, which you need 100%, which you cannot really live without 100%. You need healthcare. You need a party representing you that gives a damn about healthcare. How you going to get it? That's what you need as a voter. You need access to affordable housing. That's what you absolutely goddamn need as a citizen. There can be no way, shape, or form that you can be an aware voter and not need that. Absolutely. And what I mean by need is need a party that's going to talk about it comprehensively, inside out. Know it in an expert manner. That's how much you need it. You see what I mean? You need this kind of stuff. You need a living wage when you go to work. Those are things you absolutely need as a voter. Those are things whoever you vote for should be able to talk about it in a comprehensive manner and act like and have a record of doing something about it for you. Even if it's not enough, at least doing something, showing that, hey, we've done this and we want to do more. But in this last election, you literally had people that all those needs translated into, I'm going to vote for Trump, the abomination. I'm going to vote for him. And that's exactly what some people did. Look, and it's all types of people. It's not even a racial thing. It's not a gender thing. It's not even a straight or gay thing. It's like, yo, all kinds of people voted for Trump. And now they living in his world. The dollar, and since 1 month ago, has gone down compared to the Danish krone. The dollar, if you even know, even if you notice it, I notice it because I have stocks. I care about the value of shit. I like to read the papers, the economic papers every day. Open it up, see, what can I do? How can I get a little bit for myself today? You know what I'm saying? Let me look at the economic news. Boom. What? The damn dollar is down. The dollar used to be earlier this year was like 7 to 1. $1 was 7 krona. Last month it was last month it was 7.4. Now this to the Danish krone, $1 to 6.4 Danish krone. Now it's 7.4 krona. I'm sorry. Now it's 6.6, something like that krona. It's gone down that much. You know, they're not releasing economic reports. The government is late releasing an economic report. I mean, everything is spelling bad for the U.S. Every single thing is spelling bad. And the people that supported them are complaining. You know what I mean? You got, look, here's the crazy thing. Trump goes out on TV and he says, now we're going to mess with Somali Americans who are citizens. We're going to send ICE over there. And now I got to find out that, damn, out of all the people, there literally was also a Somali brother that voted for Trump. It's like, I've been a Republican my whole life and I voted for Trump. I'm like, well, goddamn, isn't this some shit? So you got Latinos that voted for Trump getting kicked out of the country. He's attacking everyone that voted for him in some way, shape, or form. This shit is like, goddamn, like what is going on? Yeah. What did he say? Who was this? He went to the UK, but who did that? I mean, hold on. And Trump is doing it. Babbling. Brandon wasn't going to do it. Trump is though take out the trash. I mean, well, he's taking out your dollar. The dollar is taking a hit. Is your dollar trash? Because he's taking your dollar out. And my money is not in dollars. Okay. So if you have money, and it's in dollars, I don't know how much you read the economic news, buddy, but you've gone down some percentages in value, like just your money alone. Most of the people that voted for Trump are poor people. Most of the people that go out and say, yay, take out the trash, are actually broke. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm trying to get at. It's the same thing. People, you know, white Americans voted for, they poor people. These are poor and middle class people voted for Trump. I mean, it's like that. The Hispanics, hardworking people, half of them voted for Trump. Can't afford it. You know, you should vote for something you can afford. You should vote for something that actually speaks to your life. You know what I'm saying? What is it about a Hispanic person vote for Trump that speaks for their life? I'm sorry. No can do. No comprende. No comprende. No comprende. I mean, what the fuck do you want? Why would a Somali person? There was only one now. I don't know what the percentage is. There was only one I saw. Most Somali people, I'm pretty sure, wouldn't dare vote for Trump. But I don't know the percentages again. I didn't even think to even look into it to find out. But I saw damn sure yesterday one Somali guy, because now ICE is coming to Minnesota, right? Because of Trump. One Somali guy that had on the TV like, I voted for Trump. I've been a Republican my whole life. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, what the fuck is wrong with these people, man? Are y'all all watching the same dumbass television station? Like, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. You all are goddamn dumb. Politically, you're stupid. Just get over it and recognize you're dumb. You're politically illiterate. People that voted for Trump can't afford none of his policies and are dumb if they believed he was going to do anything good. Your research is poor. Okay? Your understanding of these political parties is shit poor. Those are the people that voted for Trump. Okay? And that's a common thread across all racial lines. Okay? So it's not racist. Gender, man and woman. If you're a woman, you voted for Trump, you're dumb as fuck. Okay? You're a man who voted for Trump, you're dumb. If you're a heterosexual man, you voted for Trump, you're stupid as fuck. And, unless you're a billionaire. And if you're gay and you voted for Trump, you stupid as fuck. If you're any of these combinations, handicap, stupid as fuck if you voted for Trump. I mean, but what is the thread? Like, I'm trying to find out, what motherfucking TV are you watching? Where are you getting your information from? Because I can't find it anywhere. I can't find one piece of information that would click in my head to make me say, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to vote for Trump. I mean, goddamn, what the fuck? And listen, and I live overseas and I have health care and I wouldn't dare do that. I got a union job and I wouldn't dare do that. It's like, what the fuck? And these people without a union job voted for fucking Trump. People that don't even have all the health care they need voted for Trump. Like, what the fuck? People that can't even afford to go to goddamn school voted for fucking Trump. What earth are you living on? What earth are you living on? I can go to school tomorrow if I fucking wanted to. It's paid for. I'll get a stipend to go. I would never vote for fucking Trump. I have health care. The price of my health care ain't just go up all of a sudden from one day to the next. I have health care. I would never vote for Trump. I mean, so the only thing that it could be is people that vote for Trump have a deep lack of awareness and a total disconnect of these political parties and their politic. A total disconnect. Now, don't get me wrong. Palestinians, for example, half Palestinians voted for Trump. It's the same thing. Like, what would fucking make you think that Trump would... Listen, if you didn't like Biden, there should be no way in hell you would ever consider voting for Trump, because Trump, not only does he want you fucking dead, but he hates Jews too. He hates all of you, just flat out. It ain't even just Palestinians. He's like, to hell with all of you, fucking dying, and all of you can fucking die. I mean, is that what you want? Because Trump definitely was going to kill some more Palestinians. I mean, I knew that. I knew he was going to make it even worse. I know that one party ain't perfect. The other one definitely wants you fucking dead. Like, again, what news channels where are you getting your information from? Trump hates Jews and Muslims. Get it through your goddamn head this time. Coming the next election. Just get it through your goddamn head. Get it through. Trump has Jews. These are kind of Jews Trump got. The ones that actually are okay with Nazis. Yo, what the fuck? That's the kind of weird kooky shit they got going on over there. But most people understand, yeah, KKK hate Jews. They always hated Jews. Well, that's not news to an American. Every American knows the KKK, which Trump is basically, hates Jews, hates Muslims, hates gays, hates blacks, hates Hispanics, hates. Why would you even link up with the only people that link up with them are kooky? First of all, would be racist white people. That's what you would expect, right? That's what you would expect to support Trump. And then the rest of you voted for his ass. It's like, how could you do? What is up with that? So you rather vote for a guy. Now they got a new thing going on. There's a new case, Musk, Trump, that alleges Trump, Elon Musk, Gates were part of a sex trafficking scam themselves. Yes, another one. There's something that's coming out right now about that, right? Some sort of lawsuit or something, I believe, right? You voted for that dude, the dude that's in all these kind of things, the dude that's already publicly alleged. I mean, before you voted for Trump, there was already a woman that went public and said Trump assaulted her when she was 13 4 different times. And that's the person you voted for. I mean, when you vote for Trump, you could not have voted for a worse person. I mean, was Hitler worse than Trump? I mean, he killed a lot of people, but I'm just saying, even out, if you just remove the deaths, because we don't even know how many people have, Trump's policies have affected yet. But if you remove the deaths, was he as immoral? Is he even worse off than Hitler? Like, damn, this guy is like bad news. And he got bad news for everybody. And, if you had a brain, you would realize that. Now, don't get me wrong. If you are the person that's middle class or poor and you voted for Trump, you deserve what you get. You deserve what you get. If you lose your home, you voted for it. Yeah. If a family member gets sick and they die, you voted for it. Like, straight up. That's how it is, because you got to be responsible when you voted. If you have a family member getting their ass kicked out of the country all of a sudden, you voted for that. You should have known fucking better. People tried to tell you. And here's the thing. The person running against Trump told you everything he would do that he's doing right now, and you still fucking voted for him. It is what it is, man. All I can say is that I make better decisions as an adult. And if you don't, oh, well, not my personal responsibility. I can't get you to drink the water. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even try to force you to drink the water, because some of you will drag other people down any day of the fucking week. But for those of you that got a brain, I'm here for you. Okay. And I'm going to continue to put it down the way I put it down. And that is enjoying my latte. Enjoying my healthcare not going up, not skyrocketing. Okay. Enjoying the cost of my goods being close to normal. Definitely not nowhere as crazy as what's going on economically in the U.S. That's the kind of shit I choose as a person. Normalcy. Also for my kids. I choose that for my kids too. Gladly. I choose the right to have an education and not make it about money. You know what I'm saying? If I have the grades. You see what I mean? That's what I choose. You could choose $1 million university while your ass is broke. You could choose the right to go to $1 million university while you're middle class. That's your choice. You could choose while you're middle class and you're poor. You could choose more expensive housing. You could choose a yacht and a mansion you'll never fucking be able to afford if that's your choice. You have the right to your personal choice. But I'm just saying, that must really hurt right now. That must really, really hurt. I mean, if you voted for Trump and his vote backfired on you, woo, that must hurt right about now. I mean, does it hurt? Does it hurt? You all that voted for Trump, what do you get paid a year? What's your salary looking like? What state do you live in? Let me know your let me know your salary, yo. Let me know the state you live in. You know what I'm saying? we'll figure out the rest from that. You know what I'm saying? I want to calculate how much you have to make to afford healthcare anymore. How much you have to make to afford anything. This shit is crazy, man. If you have to go through Trump, the least you could have done is not vote for his ass, okay? Because if you voted for him and you don't like the prices, you all of a sudden surprised by all the shit he's doing. You're dumb. You're dumb. But in any case, let's keep it going now. Back to this. You can't be nice every day to people. Sometimes you got to let people have it the way they want to have it. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, the other interesting thing I thought is that, look, looking at the profile of this bomber, quote unquote, they say he's the bomber. I don't know if he's the bomber. They said, if you read, I don't know how many of you read the articles, the news tips, the papers, right? The online newspapers about who this guy is, right? They made it a point. A lot of them made it a point to keep saying, no. We didn't find him because of a tip, because of an anonymous tip. That's not how we found him. No. We found him just because we had new eyes on it. The new Trump administration just looked at the same old information everyone else looked at, and we were able to solve the crime with what was already there. They made this point to keep uttering that over and over and over. And I just started thinking, like, that, why do you overdo it like that? Like, is that real? And I don't know. I mean, to me, it sounds like if you were down with January 6th, then you probably know something about the bomber. Was Kash Patel down with January 6th? Was Trump down with January 6th? I mean, I would think anybody that knew about January 6th, they might know about this. Some other people that knew about January 6th, they knew about a bunch of guns that got seized outside of D.C. and Virginia. Yeah, a whole bunch of guns somebody brought there. They knew about that. That was part of the January 6th scam. You see what I mean? Attack, right? So in my mind, this pipe bomber. And again, they say this guy's black, but there are some black people that voted for Trump. Now, they getting their ass whipped right now. This guy definitely don't like the prices. His family don't like the prices of goods right now. I'm sure they don't like healthcare right now. Was coming up with healthcare. I'm pretty sure about that. Yeah. But in any case, let's take a listen and see.
Some breaking news. A law enforcement official is telling News Nation that the FBI has arrested a suspect connected to the pipe bombing investigation in Washington, D.C. That suspect allegedly placed pipe bombs in Washington a day before the January 6 events at the Capitol. This is the first time investigators have connected someone to this case. These bombs were placed near the offices of the Democratic and Republican National Committees. Officials deemed the bombs safe. Nobody was hurt, but the FBI said both devices could have been lethal. Joining us now on the phone, News Nation national security contributor Tracy Walder, former CIA officer and FBI special agent. Tracy, welcome to you. This case and the investigation has vexed law enforcement, and a suspect has remained elusive for about 5 years. Why has this case been so tough to solve and get someone in custody?
Well, thank you so much for having me, Marnie. I think there's a couple reasons. First, the FBI actually has done a really good job of leaving essentially no stone unturned. But the problem is that the sheer leads that they had led them to absolutely nowhere, to the point that they even had to deconstruct the pipe bombs. They made a list of stores that they could have been purchased from, subpoenaed all of the records of those stores, and still came up with nothing. They confiscated 20 phones.
Sassy Mo, what's up?
Of individuals around the area.
Let me hear that again.
Led them to nothing. And so I think, unfortunately, they with nothing. Nowhere, to the point that they even had to for having me, Marnie. I think there's a couple reasons. First, the FBI actually has done a really good job of leaving essentially no stone unturned. But the problem is that the sheer leads that they had led them to absolutely nowhere, to the point that they even had to deconstruct the pipe bombs. They made a list of stores that they could have been purchased from, subpoenaed all of the records of those stores, and still came up with nothing. They confiscated 20 phones of individuals around the area, led them to nothing. And so I think, unfortunately, this person planned very much to essentially go dark and leave them with absolutely no trail.
They have not released a name, at least not what I've seen so far. The reason for that.
There's a name released already, so let's go on to the next one. Let's see here. Yeah.
Under arrest in connection to the pipe bombs placed at Republican and Democratic national committees ahead of the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Investigators have been trying to crack this case for almost 5 years now, even offering a $500,000 reward. Now sources say a suspect is in custody. Chief Justice correspondent Pierre Thomas and ABC News contributor, former FBI agent Brad Garrett.
Somebody said you Democrats are going crazy. Well, Trump said some of you MAGA people are dumb. That's what he said. So I don't, when your own leader calls you dumb and you still follow him, are you dumb?
Are here for more on this. Hi, Pierre. What's the latest on this arrest?
Diane, after nearly 5 years and countless hours, the FBI may have solved one of the most frustrating mysteries of Washington, D.C. in recent memory. Sources telling ABC News federal authorities have arrested a Northern Virginia man in connection with the placement of 2 potentially dangerous pipe bombs outside of headquarters of the Republican and Democratic National Committees the night before the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Sources tell us the suspect was arrested at his home this morning. Authorities believe he is the person seen in those various surveillance cameras walking around the U.S. Capitol wearing a gray hooded sweatshirt, a mask, and a pair of Nike Air Max sneakers. The bombs were found roughly 16 hours after they were placed, discovered at a critical moment, just minutes before hundreds of supporters of President Trump began breaching barricades outside of the U.S. Capitol. Concerns that the bombs were somehow related to the riot complicated an already harrowing moment and prompted a massive response. Sources describe an incredibly dangerous situation. At one point, Vice President-elect Kamala Harris's motorcade drove right past the bomb at DNC headquarters, which had gone undetected. Now sources say, after all these years, finally an arrest.
And Brad, in a years-long investigation like this, is there usually one thing that breaks the case open, or is it just a gradual process of piecing the puzzle together?
It can be either one, Diane. I'm going to guess that something came to light in recent times, days or weeks, where somebody came forward or they got on to somebody that may have information about the potential suspect.
Now, according to Kash Patel, we're going to listen to what Kash Patel says. If you trust him, I listen to people I don't trust all the time, also. That doesn't mean I believe them, but it's worth to hear. You got to read between the lines sometimes, So, Kash Patel, they're making it sound like it wasn't any leads. There was no new leads, nothing. It was just looking at the very set of information that was already there that the bumbling Biden administration couldn't do anything about. Now, let's think about that. And only Trump could do something about. Okay, fair enough. Let's think about that. Trump is about to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump fired the prosecutor that convicted Ghislaine Maxwell. Does that sound like that makes sense? Like matches up? You see what I mean? So on one hand, you pardon people that have been convicted, right, of crimes. But on the other hand, you claim that the Biden administration can't solve any crimes. Right? You see? So to me, again, this sounds very suspicious, because why would you want to prosecute the bomber when you don't want to prosecute people that openly wanted to kill the vice president? Why would you pardon people that openly wanted to kill the vice president? That makes no sense, because the bomber wanted to kill the vice president too. Why would you pardon people that wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi? That doesn't make sense because the bomber wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi too. So which way are you going at this? You can't have it both ways. You either want to prosecute people that commit violent acts and crimes or you don't. I mean, now you care about the Somali people in Minnesota defrauding the government or whatever of $1 billion, even though they all got prosecuted. And you want to let out the Honduras president for something like 400 tons of cocaine distribution in the United States of America. He pardoned the guy from Binance. That's $1 billion fraud, multiple billions, tens, 20s. You know what I'm saying? And these are, so again, I can't trust that this capture is what it appears to be. You know what I'm saying? I can't trust their words on it because it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
And working through that person, they get more information and enough to actually
not to me, but you can believe them if you want.
Charge them.
Brad, how much evidence do agents need to bring charges in a case like this? Brad,
oh yeah, New York, man. He defrauded the whole damn state. Who defrauds the damn state they grow up in? Defrauds the taxpayer. He defrauded every New Yorker of millions and millions of tax dollars. He did crimes that he would send you to jail for. Fraud. Like seriously. You know, he's going around trying to figure out if Letitia James committed fraud, mortgage fraud, and the amount of money that they look into it to find out that she would have gained is what, $100, and this dude committed fraud in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I mean, I'm just saying this shit. I don't believe. I believe this is what I believe right off the bat. I believe they knew the Trump administration or people involved with him because they are criminals. Knew who this person was, did not want to help the FBI, and now that they're in the office and they're under a whole lot of heat, they're going to drag this guy out now, you know, and put him out there. But I would really like to know. I would really like to hear what he got to say. Now, the other thing about it is this. Speaking of voting for Trump, that I believe they say he's a Trump supporter, right? But in any case, whether he's a Trump supporter or not, he's a young guy. He seemed like he was young when he committed this, 25, right? I'm not 25. I'm damn 55. So I know what it's like to be in that age group and how people think pretty much. But myself, I would say 25 years old, thinking you're smart. And there's a new advent of getting your smarts from the internet. That's not safe. You know, I didn't get my smarts from the internet. You know, I got mine when I first got smart. I was reading books. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of books and a whole lot of newspapers reading. The internet was not the thing. Facebook didn't exist. MySpace didn't exist. You see what I mean? If I wanted to learn about the world, learn about history, learn about politics, learn about anything, crime, just learn about shit, I had to actually read books. Today, we got a whole nother situation we're dealing with young people where they on the internet, they're taking in information fast. They don't even know who they're getting information from. At least on a book, you get to know who wrote the book, who the author is. You can go research the author. The internet, you don't really know who anybody is. You don't. So there's not those filters. There's not those filters there anymore. You know, there's a lot more effort that has to go into writing a book at that time in those days than it does to throw stuff together today. You know, so I think there's that commonality here that you can be radicalized over the internet if you're going into those places. I mean, they got a lot of spots where people go in and you know, it's sad, but this is part of freedom of speech, you know, but it's taking a toll on people that can't figure out a scam from the truth, you know, because the internet doesn't do that for you. It puts up the scams also and just lets them run free. I'll give you an example. I read one book that was about by some dude that was very, very sick. I'm not going to say the person's name, right? But this person wrote a lot of books, and there's a lot of people that admire this person, right? And I actually came across one of his books, and I said to myself, you know what? Let me check this book out. Why not? Fuck it. I'll check this book out. Somebody else said, okay, this guy, you got to check this guy out. So I said, okay, let me check it out. This was in 2000. When was this? 2003, 2000, something like that, right? 2000, maybe before that, maybe 2000. No, maybe 2000, maybe 1999, maybe something like that, right? But in any case, so I picked up the dude's book, and I said the book had it was mixing in a lot of fascinating things about history, and I was, and some other things too. And I started reading, and about halfway through this book, or a little before, I could figure out that no, man, actually this book is full of shit, and this guy is spreading a lot of disinformation, and it's very slick disinformation, very, very slick, right? Uses a lot of things to pull you in instantly for people whose brains work that way. But people who have patient minds, that stuff doesn't work on. And it turns out that this guy was definitely a very creepy person writing these books. And he had a whole scam set up where he was writing a whole lot of books and and to this day, he got a whole lot of victims. You may as well call him a Jeffrey Epstein type. 100%. But his spin on it was that he wrote books and people thought they were history books. But I could read the book and be like, man, this is some bullshit. There's something not right with this. And I put that shit down. But there's a lot of people that got into that shit, believed it, got brainwashed. You see what I mean? And that is what the internet is. The internet is like 1,000 times faster than that. If you thought it was easy to spread disinformation and brainwash before, well, this generation has to deal with it a lot more because it's just openly available on the internet. It is.
Looks like we're having some issues with your microphone. Pierre, what are the next steps in this case now?
Well, we're expecting a press conference later this afternoon at DOJ where we expect the critical information, the details. What exactly was the evidence that was pieced together to be able to bring this case? We know it was an extremely challenging case. The suspect, as I said, was wearing a mask, had a hoodie on, was completely covered. At the time, they spoke of no DNA evidence left behind. So what were the new clues that they have uncovered that allowed them to, in their mind, break the case?
Okay, so there were they say themselves there was no clues, but I just want to review some parts of this just to make sure I'm not missing something. Then we're going to get to Kash Patel and them, what they say about it.
In this hour with breaking news just into us now, the FBI has arrested a suspect accused of planting the pipe bombs that had been left outside the RNC and DNC headquarters the night before the January 6th Capitol riot. For the latest, let's bring in MS Now Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Delaney. And Ken, this case has been cold for a long time, a source of real embarrassment that no arrests had been made. But
do me a favor. Do me a favor, y'all. Click the like button for me. If you're listening, because a lot of people that listen, they don't go in the chat. If you're listening from your TV or your mobile phone or whatever, take a second, pause the video, and click the like button for me. I appreciate that.
5 years later, what more can you tell us?
Good morning, Jonathan. That's right. The FBI fanned out this morning and made this arrest at the suspect's home, as we understand it. And the suspect is a male. We don't have a name yet, but there is a sealed complaint charging this suspect with placing those two bombs in the hours before the January 6th riots. But authorities are telling us they don't understand or have a motive. They do, though, have some information connecting this suspect to anarchist writings. So it's not clear at all that it was connected to the January 6th attacks.
Anarchist writings? Okay.
A motive.
Who said this?
With placing those two bombs in the hours before the January 6th riots. But authorities are telling us they don't understand or have a motive. They do, though, have some information connecting this suspect to anarchist writings.
All right, so let me check that out. I'm gonna let it play for a second.
So it's not clear at all that it was connected to the January 6th attacks after all the speculation that perhaps it was intended as a diversion. Remember, these were real devices, 2 pipe bombs placed outside the Republican and Democratic National Committee headquarters in downtown Washington, D.C. They could have gone off, but luckily they did not. And as you said, this was a massive investigation, one of the biggest in the FBI's history. They sifted through thousands and thousands of pages of records. They tried to compare credit card records for purchases of items that were used to make the bomb with cell phone records of people who were around the site that night. Remember, they had video, but it didn't show a clear facial image. They had a height of the suspect, 5'7" or 5'8". They had a unique shoe, a Nike shoe that was not sold widely that they tried to use to identify the subject. They even issued a $500,000 reward for information leading to arrest, and they had almost no leads. But what's interesting here is that we're told by 2 sources close to the case that the information used to put together the case against the suspect was sitting in FBI files and was gathered as perhaps in 2021 or 2022. So could have been used to make an arrest a while ago, and they re-examined this case. And that's going to be a partial vindication for Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, who has been exhorting the FBI to take another look at the evidence in this case.
Now, this is another interesting thing. You have this dynamic where, he's a podcaster, right? Social media like, Kash Patel also, right? But they dabbled themselves in a lot of conspiracy theories before they got into office. I mean, one of them, Kash Patel himself, is on record saying that the Epstein files, that none of that stuff that he thought was there and people thought was there is there. That's Kash Patel for you. And so it's kind of, when I see this, it just seems like I'm inclined to not believe them. That's all I'm saying. I'm inclined to not trust these folks because, could you trust them before? What did they say came true before? What has Kash Patel said that came true? He don't even believe the Epstein files are true anymore. Like, that's a major thing. When you were going around capping about that, Kash Patel was complaining about it, saying that, the list is in the FBI, the head of the FBI's hands. The list has that. He's the one who has it. People have all seen this stuff. And then when he got in office, he flipped the total script. Pam Bondi did the same thing. So, now this is another important crime. Are they to be believed just off the bat? Anything they say? Because look, one heinous crime is the same as another heinous crime. These are all heinous crimes. They're all serious. You can't joke around with heinous crimes. And keep in mind, they had the nerve to say there's no one else, there's no other person to prosecute in the Epstein files. There's no other people that were involved, nothing else there, no evidence of anything else. Meanwhile, the victims are on the Capitol steps saying, interview us, please come interview us. And they just wouldn't do it. Like, I'm sorry, but this is January 6th. Kash Patel and Bongino were in support of Jan 6 rioters. If you want to call them rioters, I don't even call them that, because anytime you threaten the life of the vice president and say you want to kill him, that's not just a riot. Anytime you say you want to kill an elected official, that's not just a riot. Anytime officers die because of what you did to them, that's not a riot. Anytime you're knocking them upside of the head with poles, police officers, when they're telling you do not enter and you're saying, fuck you, get the fuck out of my way, police officer, I'll kill you. Right? That's not a riot. That's worse than a riot. And all those things were attached to overthrowing the election, stopping the election. These are real crimes. So you got Jan 6, which is a real crime. Everybody got pardoned. You got Epstein files, real crime. They totally basically covering the shit up now. And now you have another part to Jan 6. Should they be trusted? I mean, that's all I'm saying. If you think they should be trusted, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't, put a 2 in the chat. Also, name your political affiliation. If you support Trump, I'll put it to you this way. If you support Trump and you believe they should be trusted, put both, Trump and 1. If you don't, just put a 2.
It doesn't do, though, is stand up the bizarre theories that Bongino was expounding as a podcaster when he was trying to suggest that.
Yeah, do that. Dip to Canada, man. Because look, you can live anywhere you want. You don't have to be a citizen there. Just because you're a resident in some state. I'm not a citizen of Denmark. I'm a resident. You know what I mean? I'm an American citizen. You know, you can live in a lot of places. You know, it doesn't mean you change your citizen. And to be honest with you, on that note, I'm a dual resident. You know, I still hold, you know, that's how the law is constructed. It's called dual resident for me. Right. And so just some pointers for those that want to know, you know, the world is big. I mean, the world is smaller than it's ever been. Sorry. The world is smaller than it's ever been. Who's limiting you? Who's limiting you? Are you limiting yourself by your own ideas and your own possibilities? Or are you out there saying, you know what? Hey, man, I want to go see what this world is like while I'm alive because I can't do it when I'm dead. I mean, it's up to you how you do things, you know?
That this was an inside job and that the FBI was covering up.
Ooh, listen to this. This is what I'm saying. They claimed this. This is what they were claiming themselves. This is what I'm saying. They were literally claiming that this was Biden who did Jan 6. This is what Trump was saying is the FBI. You see what I mean? So can these people be trusted to tell the truth about this crime that happened on January 6th in conjunction with the other crimes that they pardoned? Can they be trusted? I don't it's just irrational. It's just irrational. It's just irrational. I'm sorry. I don't do irrational. You know what I'm saying? I don't do irrational for nobody.
That's going to be a partial vindication for Deputy FBI Director Dan Bongino, who has been exhorting the FBI to take another look at the evidence in this case. What it doesn't do, though, is stand up the bizarre theories that Bongino was expounding as a podcaster when he was trying to suggest that this was an inside job and that the FBI was covering up.
Exactly.
What it knew. There's no evidence of that. As you know, this case has been the subject of right-wing conspiracy theories, and just recently there was a story that tried to suggest that there was a particular woman was the suspect based on gait analysis.
And I want y'all to notice something. Soon as I asked that question about should they be believed, not one MAGA person put a 1 in the chat. Not one. See, pay attention. They don't like to go on record about their beliefs because they know they're going to flip-flop 2 minutes later in the next stream on somebody else's platform. They're gonna be over there capping and shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's not.
Yeah, click like, please. I appreciate that, Winter. Click like, y'all.
The case. She's not the suspect, and her lawyer is saying she's completely innocent and has nothing to do with this.
I mean, should I trust a MAGA supporter when they can't even answer this question? No, hell fucking no. You can't even answer You can't even answer if Pam Bondi and Kash Patel should be trusted to investigate this. You can't even answer that.
But again, this arrest appears to solve a 5-year mystery and ends one of the biggest investigations, if these allegations are proven, in recent FBI history, guys.
Wow. MS Now Justice and Intelligence reporter Ken Dilanian, thank you very much.
All right, let me see here. We're almost there. I want to see Kash Patel now. Let's go.
Warrants are being executed, and there could be more charges to come. I'm going to let our U.S. attorney discuss. Warrants are being executed, and there could be more charges to come. I'm going to let our U.S. attorney discuss that shortly. This was the work of multiple agencies working together. This morning's operation was carried out.
She always says that. This is the multiple case. You know, no shit, Sherlock. It's called the government. It's a crime, okay?
Safely and successfully. We know that there are so many issues.
What do you think is going on with her? She's like stumbling through this. Like, is something not right with her? Like, let me see something here.
And there could be more charges to come. I'm going to let our U.S. attorney discuss that shortly. This was the work of multiple agencies working together. This morning's operation was carried out safely and successfully. We know that there are so many issues when you're issuing search warrants. Dangerous things can happen, and this was carried out safely and securely thanks to all of the people standing around me. They have worked tirelessly on this. Today's arrest happened because the Trump administration has made this case a priority. The total lack of movement on this case in our nation's capital undermined the public trust of our enforcement agencies. This cold case languished for 4 years until Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino came to the FBI. The FBI, along...
I mean, just imagine this. They claiming that it was solved. You know, all the other FBI people, they couldn't solve nothing. They couldn't solve nothing. You know, nothing to solve there. Nothing to solve there. But everything they solve, they say, that's phony. You can't solve that. Let me pardon them. Russia. That's phony. Epstein, that's phony now. Now the Epstein files are phony. You know, and now they're saying this case came because a podcaster became the FBI #2. That's how it came. And Cash Patel, I mean, come on. You know, it doesn't. I'm sorry. But it is irrational. That's all I'm saying. It's irrational. It's irrational, period. It doesn't matter who's saying it. What she is saying is irrational. Okay, I'm happy they caught the guy, but I'm very suspicious about how they caught him. And I'm almost willing to bet that there is a tip from an anonymous person or something else to this story. Like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. There's, you know, I would never believe them anyway, of course, at this point, you know what I'm saying? But at least I'm trying to understand what she's saying. Like, she's literally saying Bombino's expertise brought this motherfucker to justice. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's like saying, yeah, motherfucking, you know, Charlie Brown. If we didn't get this, you know, this character, Charlie Brown, Snoopy up here in the FBI, we wouldn't have caught the pipe bomber. You know, I mean, come on.
With U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors have worked tirelessly for...
Pirro, she's the lady who was on tape. This lady to the left, she was on tape, recorded. And I think it was in New Jersey. Was she in New Jersey or in New York? She was trying to get another detective to spy on her husband. And the guy was telling her, it's a crime. I can't do it. And she was like, do it anyway. This lady, like straight up, it's all recorded. This is ridiculous. You know, somehow she got this job. Like, how the hell she get this job, yo? How did she get this job? These people are all crazy. Pam Bondi, what's her claim? Her claim is she worked for Acosta, the dude who fumbled the first Epstein file shit in Florida. Okay.
Months sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years.
Now, first of all, as far as professionalism, that's not what you're supposed to do. See, it's okay for me to criticize. I'm a podcaster. Okay, I can criticize, but once you take this job that she has, you're supposed to be nonpartisan. That means you don't go back and disparage the FBI agents' work before you. Many of them still probably working on this case now and work for the FBI. You see what I mean? It doesn't make sense what she's doing. So actually, she's really breaking an oath right here. You know, this is abnormal. Her trying to politicize the event. You know, the event is how you do your police work is not supposed to matter who the president was. These are career professionals. I mean, does she change how she does her work according to who her boss is? Is that how she changes her professionalism? Because she works for somebody. So is she going to do this? Did she do the same thing when the president was, you know, when somebody else was her boss? I mean, does she just change like that? That's what I'm trying to say. Do you? I mean, it doesn't make sense what she's saying. She's damn near 60. So she's had a lot of bosses. You see what I mean? And are you trying to say you only work well for bosses you like? Like, to me, it's just ridiculous. This whole presentation is ridiculous.
Let me be clear. There was no new tip. There was no new witness.
You see that? You hear this? They go out of their way to tell you, let me be clear. There was no new tip. There was no new witness. But is that what you say? Is that really what you say? As a police a person that works for law enforcement, is that what you say? Like, this sound, it goes back to the same thing. Think about this. Lobby. Yeah, exactly. She's a lobbyist with Qatar. Exactly. Look, but think about this. When Charlie Kirk got murdered, right? And his family raised somebody that ended up murdering his ass, right? Now, Kash Patel, when that guy died, he also made public statements that you're not supposed to make that actually undermine, because you got to think about this. The guy who they caught, they don't even know all the charges yet. She's admitted this. He hasn't even been charged fully yet, right? And he hasn't even been assigned an attorney. You say, or maybe he just got assigned an attorney. So the attorney right now, the job is to try to figure out how do you get him off. And so looking at the public statements that the prosecutors make counts. That's within your scope. So Kash Patel, he actually undermined some things in Charlie Kirk's case just by some of the things he said publicly, you know. And of course, this conversation has happened all on legacy media. His comments, how they were unprofessional, and they explain why, because they could possibly undermine the prosecution's case and give the defendant some extra, you know, some goodies to work with. It's the same thing here. Let me be clear. There were no tips. Okay, why are you telling us that? But you could tell this is a defensive posture for someone who's capturing somebody and doing a great job. She's projecting a lot of defensive statements, like having to explain, no, it's not because we got tips. No, it's not that. It's like, why do you even... Anybody that's confident doesn't explain all that bullshit. Like, really, I'm just saying, I wouldn't.
Sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear. There was no new tip. There was no new witness. Just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work.
Oh, hold on. Look at how she's smiling there. What is this about? Like, is she getting joy from this statement? I mean, let me just rewind this shit. This is crazy, man.
Working as a team along with until Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino came to the FBI. The FBI, along with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our prosecutors, have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear. There was no new tip. There was no new witness. Just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work, working as a...
Look, she does. Pam Bondi did right there, her physical mannerisms. She did what she does when she's lying. Like, look at her face. She's done this many times before when people have caught her in lies. She smiled when she's saying a lie. Like, straight up. She's done that in these testimonies in these Senate hearings. Every time not every time, but a lot of the times she's literally smiling when she's saying something that just doesn't make a lot of sense.
Have worked tirelessly for months, sifting through evidence that had been sitting at the FBI with the Biden administration for 4 long years. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and...
You see that? You see that smile right there? It's almost like she don't even believe what she's saying. You know, like she's almost having trouble reading the shit without laughing herself. Like that's weird.
Long years. Let me be clear, there was no new tip, there was no new witness, just good, diligent police work and prosecutorial work, working as a team along with ATF, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and of course, the FBI. We are working every day to restore the public's trust. We hope that today...
You're doing a horrible job at that, yo. She is doing a horrible public. You working to restore public trust? You fucked that all up. The Epstein files. You think people trust you with the Epstein files? What? Okay, you working hard to restore public trust, huh? You got a crew of bandits that done raided the Treasury Department. You know what I'm saying? You got like the public trust is eroded. It's eroded.
A significant step towards that progress. We'll share more information when we can and when it unfolds. I cannot stress enough how hard Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino have worked for months to make our nation's capital safer and to make our country safer.
Yeah, listen, for anybody that wants to know, they've been through Senate hearings plenty of times already. If you don't watch the news, hey, watch C-SPAN. That's what I would say, multiple times. All of these people, I mean, not one time, multiple times. You never seen it? You never seen Pam Bondi? Put a 1 in the chat if you never seen Pam Bondi in a Senate hearing this year. Put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see. Put a 2 in the chat if you have. I've seen her plenty. I've seen her ass definitely in the Senate hearing this year. Yeah, but for those of you in the chat, put a 1 in the chat if you haven't seen Pam Bondi this year. You know what I'm saying? In a Senate hearing, you should check it out. It's pretty interesting, Brian. It's pretty interesting, and Kash Patel. You know what I'm saying? Now, but listen, yeah, okay. It's a lot. It's a few of you that haven't. Well, listen. When I'm talking about her body language, you know, it's because, yeah. You should see how she looks when she's talking in these hearings, and then you would see how a person can compare how she's talking now, how she talked in the hearings, these kind of things. You know, you should check it out. You know, but I put it to you like this: it's not even up to those hearings. Let me ask you: if she was talking to you and trying to convince you of something, and she looked like this, her mannerisms look like this, would you yourself believe her? Fuck everybody else. Would you believe her? Put a X in the chat if you would not believe her, and put a Y in the chat if you would. I'm putting an X. You can't talk to me like this. I'm way too serious. Like, I'm sorry, that shit looked like something weird. My instincts tell me that doesn't sound right. You see what I mean? Like, I can feel something's not right with that. I can feel that's phony. You know, and if you want if this is what you accept yourself, okay, cool. That's on you. But damn, I'm sorry, man. I would have to say, no. You're gonna have to give me another person to talk to, because this one's already starting off wrong, you know?
Safer. I'd like to introduce now Director Patel.
Thank you, General. When you attack American citizens...
Oh, hold on. Damn, they got him way back there. Got to make him bigger. Now, look, how's he going to talk about when you attack American citizens? You know what? Matter of fact, while he says that, let me do something else here. 2 seconds here. Let me pull this up. talking about when you attack American citizens. Okay. Yeah, this is what he says, all right? So y'all can see this, right?
You can.
Here we go. Let's turn that down, and let me see here. Wait a second. Let me make that smaller. So we can hear Kash Patel giving his little speech about how he's going to protect everybody. You know, nobody fucking. I don't trust Kash Patel. Don't protect me, homeboy. Stay away from my ass. You can't do nothing. I don't trust you. Right now, here we go. Now let's take a look here and see how this looks while we listen.
When you attack our institutions of legislation, when you attack our nation's capital, you attack the very being of our way of life. And this FBI and this Department of Justice stand here to tell you that we will always refute it and combat it. We will provide the safest country the nation has ever seen under President Trump's leadership here. And that's what we did here today with great resolve on a case of massive public importance, as it should be. An individual who is now alleged to have placed multiple explosive devices to blow up multiple people and multiple officials, innocent civilians, is now arrested thanks to the brave men and women of the FBI and the interagency. I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the Deputy Director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence.
Police work and prosecutorial work, working as a team along with ATF, Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and of course, the FBI. We are working every day to restore the public's trust. We hope that today is a significant step towards that progress. We'll share more information when we can and when it unfolds. I cannot stress enough how hard Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino have worked for months to make our nation's capital safer and to make our country safer. I'd like to introduce now Director Patel.
Thank you, General. When you attack American citizens, when you attack our institutions of legislation, when you attack our nation's capital, you attack the very being of our way of life. And this FBI and this Department of Justice stand here to tell you that we will always refute it and combat it. We will provide the safest country the nation has ever seen under President Trump's leadership here. And that's what we did here today with great resolve on a case of massive public importance, as it should be.
Look at that.
Who's
Look at
now
this.
alleged to have
Check this out. Like, so when it comes to January 6th, they said the exact opposite, right? And look, dude even got a Confederate flag. He's walking through there with a Confederate flag, the flag of the people that were defeated. Like literally, like straight up. Look at dude right there. He got a Confederate flag in his hand. How many of you all stand for the Confederate flag? Put a 1 in the chat if you stand for the Confederate flag. If that's your flag. Put a 2 in the chat if in your mind you like, fuck that Confederate flag. I'll put a 2 in the chat. Fuck that Confederate flag. And fuck anybody that's holding it too. Okay? Yeah. There you go. It's like, seriously, I don't play around with that goddamn flag. Like, what the fuck is this flag doing? You know, but it shows you the intent. It shows you the intent. You know? And keep in mind, they busted their way through here. You know, this is, look, somebody's coming through the window here while Kash Patel is up there. When you attack our capital, you attack our way of life. Oh, really? Hypocrite? See, this is why I can't believe them when they talking about this pipe bomber. Like, that might be him, but how'd they fucking find him? They can't find the Epstein files for shit, but they can find him. They can pull his ass out of the rabbit hat. You know what I'm saying? Just when everybody's looking at them like you some goddamn fools. Legally, legislatively, in the courts, Pam Bondi's a goddamn idiot. Every prosecutor she sent out to do something is a utter failure and fool. Kash Patel just screws up every goddamn thing. And then all of a sudden they got some life-saving stick. I don't believe that shit at all. Hell to the no. That shit is hella fishy. Hella fishy. And keep in mind, Trump is a fucking criminal. And keep in mind, he could have killed Jeffrey Epstein while being in jail. So that means if you're dealing with people that kill people, if that's the case, while they're in prison, you're not beyond no pipe bomb shit either. Like, straight up. Just keep that in mind.
Multiple explosive devices to blow up multiple people and multiple officials, innocent civilians, is now arrested thanks to the brave men and women of the FBI and the interagency. I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the deputy director.
You see that? So this is the point. Now he's going to double down on that point. So that goes to show you that's a very important point for them. Like, this idea, like, you have to, they wanted to come out of this thing telling people that this is not the result of a tip. That's very important for you to know. They need the public to know that this is not about a tip or any new information. I find that really, really weird. Like, they just have to, it seems almost like they need people to know that for some reason. Like, what does it matter? The only reason why that would matter, right, is if you trying to prove something else. And why are they trying to prove something else when the only thing your job is there to do is to arrest and convict the motherfucker that planted the pipe bombs? But he has a secondary job, and so does Pam Bondi. That's what I'm saying. That is not right. That's not right. That's weird, actually. That is very, very weird. So, you can trust them if you want.
And the ADIC of our Washington field office brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every...
I mean, who the hell... Anybody in the chat ever been arrested? I'm just saying. Anybody ever been arrested? I've been arrested. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Yo, I've been arrested a few goddamn times, okay? And as a young man, okay? And I didn't hear nobody talking about, I just want you to know we didn't catch him because of a tip. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I want to let you know what we didn't have when we arrested him. What is the significance of that? You see what I'm saying? Like, that is so weird. Usually you tell what you got, how you arrested him, but they're spending time telling you what they didn't have, what didn't help them. I'm just telling you, there's something very, very weird about that. For them to have a need to reiterate that's both of them. To me, that's a weakness. There's something not right. That's all I'm saying.
Every piece of evidence.
Of course, we're going to find out what's not right about it later, just like the Epstein files. We're going to find out later what's not right about the Epstein files. We could have found out on day one what wasn't right, but we're going to find out later.
Sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do. As a result of that,
yeah, exactly. They trying to blame Antifa and shit. It's like, you know what I'm saying? They try to blame Antifa for, look, the people are on the camera. They know who they are in the Capitol riots, and they try to blame Antifa for that shit too. It's like, what the fuck? Where the Antifa? And then they pardon the people. It's like they can't get their lies straight.
Generated numerous investigative leads, executed multiple legal process with their U.S. attorney partners, and came to this conclusion today. And that is why we were able to safely secure this individual into custody. Remember, we are dealing with an individual who is alleged to have made bombs. We cannot do this sort of takedown in haste because it endangers the lives of law enforcement. And this FBI will never allow the lives of law enforcement and our prosecutors to be...
never again. January 6th, lives of of officers were put in jeopardy and lawmakers. Again, this is phony. What he's saying to you is phony. Like, just flat off the bat, he would put police lives in jeopardy. He would put lawmakers' lives in jeopardy, and he would help them finance or some shit to make a goddamn song for the January 6th rioters. Like, what the fuck this dude talking about? This shit phony, yo. This is totally phony. I'm just saying. And they don't stop. They don't stop because they will do. Somebody said, any proof? What are you talking about, any proof? The dude definitely. How many of you heard that Kash Patel helped finance a song for the January 6th rioters? Put a 1 in the chat if you heard that, so I don't have to just take everybody's time to look that shit up. Well, let me go use everybody's time. Here we go. Let's do that. Where's the proof at? Where's the proof, Buster? Show me the proof. What is wrong? Why don't you know this? Like, come on. Don't you care about the news? Put a 1 in the chat if you knew Kash Patel funded the song for the January 6th rioters. I mean, this is the guy. This is the dude right here. Here we go. So, I mean, but this doesn't change a maggot's mind, because maggot people don't need proof. So, first of all, we know that. But I'm doing this for anybody else that didn't know, that happened to not know. You maggot people, close your eyes and close your ears right now. This is not for you, okay? This won't help you. Look, yes, he did. Did Kash Patel fund a song for the January 6th rioters? Yeah, the song where the riot where the police got injured and the lawmakers had to run for their fucking lives because people were trying to kill them. That January 6th. Okay. There are credible reports that Kash Patel helped fund and produce a song tied to January 6th United States Capitol riot. He admitted it in the Senate hearing. And if you saw the Senate hearing, you would know that. I mean, it's not my fault you don't know that. You could know that if you really cared about the matter, but you don't, a lot of you. What we know, the song is called Justice for All, credited to Jan 6 Prison Choir together with Donald Trump. The Jan 6 Prison Choir, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is going on? And they out here trying to claim we would never put law enforcement in danger. We would never put lawmakers in danger. Okay, that's really, really weird that you say that, because you did and you would and you have. What the fuck? Look, the choir consists of individuals incarcerated in connection with January 6th attack, because it was an attack. Patel has publicly admitted involvement. He said on record that he helped produce and promote the song and claimed that net proceeds from it would be used to assist families of January 6th defendants. This is your Kash Patel. This is him. Yeah, look. Did you see that right there? January 6th defendants? Hold on. Maybe some of y'all can't see the whole thing. Let me make it oops, hold on. 2 seconds. Go by. Some of y'all can't see this, so let me make it a little smaller here. Now you can see. You see that? Here, let me play it back for the people that don't know. Here's Kash Patel's ugly ass face too, in case you didn't see that part. Right? Here we go. Boom. Kash Patel's ugly ass face right here. So let me play it back.
Good question. Yes, there are credible reports that Kash Patel helped fund and produce a song tied to January 6th United States Capitol attack rioters. The Associated Press, what we know, the song is called Justice for All, credited to J6 Prison Choir, together with Donald Trump. Wikipedia, the choir consists of individuals incarcerated in connection with the January 6 attack. Default, Patel has publicly admitted involvement. He said on record that he helped produce and promote the song, and claimed that net proceeds from it would be used to assist families of the Janma 6 defendants. judiciary.senate.gov. According to his statements, the recordings were originally captured via prison phone calls because he was not allowed into the jail, then mastered and digitized in a studio in collaboration with others. Judiciary.senate.gov. What remains unclear, contested. It is not public, at least not verifiably, whether the proceeds actually went to the families of all or any of the Jan 6 defendants he intended to support.
Yeah, so anyway, you can research if you care so much about this. You can research it yourself. It's not hard to find, by the way. I'm not going to bother helping you find it anymore because, it's not hard. You don't have to be lazy about it. But in any case, he admitted it in a Senate hearing that he did fund this song, and he did help. He produced it, not only funded it, he produced the damn thing. Right. And then in the next statement, what does Kash Patel go and tell everybody? I mean, what is he doing out here telling people? Look at this. Here it is. Patel has publicly admitted involvement. See, he helped promote the song and claimed that net proceeds from it would be used to assist the families. Did any of it go to the families, or did he just put the money in his pocket? Who knows? But this is what he said himself out of his mouth. Listen, Kash Patel's got a big mouth, man.
I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the Deputy Director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do. As a result of that, we generated numerous investigative leads, executed multiple legal process with our U.S. attorney partners, and came to this conclusion today. And that is why we were able to safely secure this individual into custody. Remember, we are dealing with an individual who is alleged to have made bombs. We cannot do this sort of takedown in haste because it endangers the lives of law enforcement. And this FBI...
You hear that? It endangers now. And he says in this guy himself, this FBI dude won't endanger officers and he won't endanger lawmakers. But he did a song for the January 6 rioters while they were in prison after being prosecuted. And for people that don't remember what that was like, I mean, why don't you know what that was like? I mean, do you have amnesia or something? It was pretty horrid. They were threatening to kill. And I really don't understand why this is necessary to pretend over. I mean, I do understand it because they don't want accountability, right? So, and people that don't want accountability for things basically are saying that they're willing to commit more crimes. Right, and not be held accountable. So these are people that don't admit that this is an attack and that police officers died because of this and they were threatening to kill lawmakers and it put lawmakers' lives in danger. People that cannot admit that are a danger to society and danger to democracy.
Turn in the past few hours, as thousands of supporters of President Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol building, venting their anger at the victory of Joe Biden in the presidential election. They forced the evacuation and lockdown of Congress itself, where lawmakers were all set to approve the election result. Shortly before the clashes, President Trump had addressed his supporters near the White House, telling them that he would never accept defeat. Within the past hour, President-elect Biden called on Mr. Trump to tell his people to go home, and within minutes, that was indeed the message delivered from the White House. We'll be live on Capitol Hill shortly. First, we'll have this report by our North America editor, John Sopel.
The peaceful transfer of power, the cornerstone.
So Kash Patel made a song for these people convicted of these acts that day. He went and bothered to go to visit them in prison or call them on the telephone or do whatever and master a damn song for them to raise money, in his words, for their defense. And then he, in the next statement, he says he would never endanger lawmakers and police. Here, these people, see these police right here, they're in danger right now.
Of American democracy seemed a highly abstract concept today, as Trump supporters clashed with police as they tried and succeeded to storm the Congress, where America's elected leaders had gathered to certify the election victory of Joe Biden. Earlier, in a rally outside the White House, Donald Trump encouraged his loyal base to fight to overturn the result of this bitterly contested election.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength and you have to be strong.
Many of his supporters needing little encouragement to join the fight.
We're here to support, if violence happens, it happens, but we're not going to start it,
If violence happens, it happens.
We're just here to defend ourselves.
So they're there to defend themselves. Okay, you're there to defend yourself? Okay, you came there to defend yourself. You came all the way from your fucking home to defend yourself? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. And look what they got on. Like, what were they expecting? All this gear, you there to defend yourself? It doesn't look like it. Looks like you came prepared for a fight.
I'm a Mexican immigrant. I support Trump. Freedom is...
Oh, this is really great. I'm a Mexican immigrant. I support Trump. Wow, this is some great timing right here, y'all. What the fuck? This is where I started off today. Like, what the fuck is going on with your brain, you dumbass? You voted for Trump. You are, this is what I was trying to say. Where are you finding this information to goddamn vote for Trump? You are a dumb motherfucker. Like, goddamn. I mean, I'm talking about really dumb. If I had to say it like this, I'm saying it's worse than dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude and the rest of them like this. Look, he ain't rich. This motherfucker's broke. He needs health care. He needs help. He needs help. Okay? He can't afford prices. Okay? This is exactly what I'm talking about. Him. And what it and these dumbasses just like him from various groups. We had some black men. You can't afford Trump. You black men that voted for Trump. You some dumb motherfuckers, yo. You are just like this guy. And your families. You need health care. You can't afford them cuts. You can't afford those price hikes. The Somali guy, there was a Somali guy in Minnesota. They found one Somali guy that was like, I'm been a Republican my whole life. I voted for Trump. I'm like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? This dude is coming for your family right now. He's coming to harass every goddamn Somali like you dumbass. How could you not know that? How could you not know that? Because you're dumb. I knew that. I'm not even Somali. How the fuck did I know Trump was going to harass immigrants, Somalis, all types of people, goddamn Hispanics? How did I know that? How did I know that? And he didn't. Who's on the job and who's not on the job?
If violence happens, it happens, but we're not going to start it. We're just here to defend ourselves.
With blood.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. I'm a Mexican immigrant. I support Trump. Freedom is paid for with blood. And
freedom is paid for with blood? Oh, well, you getting blood right now, motherfucker. You getting, your family and your people are getting wiped off the floor. Okay? And blood. And this is the thing, the people that voted against Trump, they didn't want you to get wiped up off the floor. They want you just to be treated humanely. That's all. Just be treated humanely. And this dude is like, blood. Damn, that's deep, yo. That's deep.
It happens like it happens, but we're not going to.
Maybe he should get expelled. I mean, this is, can you imagine? I never told anybody, I live in a foreign country myself. I never told anybody I want blood from I'm not trying to get blood from any politician. I'm not trying to get blood because of someone. What is this? Because of somebody's political. This is ridiculous. And this dude just admitted on tape, I'm a Mexican immigrant and I want blood.
We're going to start it. You know, we're just like here to defend ourselves.
With blood.
Yeah.
Sorry, say that again. I'm a Mexican immigrant. I support Trump. Freedom is paid for with blood.
Freedom is paid for with blood. That means you out for blood. Wow. That's deep. That's deep. I guess he got what he was looking for. He voted for Trump.
And tyranny always masquerades itself as safety and security, and that's what we're fighting against right now.
Outside the Capitol, the outer ring of security had been breached. The crowds had taken Donald Trump at his word, and they were taking the fight to the heart of American democracy.
But I'm going to tell you, if I was one of those police and you was trying to and get in the White House or the Capitol, and I was one of these police, I'd shoot your ass. Like, make no doubt about it. I would shoot you. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, you're not going to threaten my life. You know, you're not going to fool me talking about, yeah, get out of the way, please, officer, fuck you. I'm better than you. Fuck you. No. I'm going to be just like that Somali police officer in Minnesota. And I'm not going to think twice. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to see you as violent. Okay? And I'm going to react that way. Okay? Yo, what the fuck? You ain't invading the White House on my watch. I mean, or the Capitol. What the fuck? You know, what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised they didn't shoot their ass. Like, really? Seriously. Look, they're banging in the door. This is Kash Patel, the guy who's talking about, we don't endanger police, law enforcement. We don't endanger law enforcement, and we don't endanger lawmakers. Man, sorry. The evidence shows otherwise. Evidence shows otherwise.
Individual who is alleged to have made bombs. We cannot do this sort of takedown in haste because it endangers the lives of law enforcement. And this FBI will never allow the lives of law enforcement and our prosecutors to be put in jeopardy.
Look, they blamed the Capitol Police for being too hard on them. They blamed the feds for prosecuting them. You were too hard on those little boys. Oh.
This execution was flawless in terms of teamwork, resilience, and just a good old-fashioned way of police getting the job done. When you let good cops be cops, this is what happens. I'm eternally grateful to the team behind me, to the leadership at the FBI who made this possible.
Donald Trump, he might be the GOAT, but what is he the GOAT at? Pedophilia? You know, is he the GOAT at being a pervert? You know, he's got a woman, you know, literally saying that he raped her 4 times when she was 13 years old. You know, is that being a GOAT? Is that what you call being a GOAT? You know, if you were accused by a woman that said you raped her 13 times, would you call yourself the GOAT? Because that's what you're doing for Donald Trump. You calling a man who's been accused of raping a 13-year-old 4 times, you're calling that person the GOAT. That's disgusting. You should be fucking ashamed of yourself to ever say anything publicly like that, you know? And if you don't know about it, again, you should be more concerned and do a little research before you start capping for people. I don't cap for people, you know? I'm not capping for nobody. Like, come on, you already know. Again, look, some of you people in the chat are just like that guy who said, I'm a Mexican immigrant. I'm voting for Trump. Some of you are just like him. You can't afford Trump. Your life is in jeopardy because of Trump, you know? And if you don't realize it yet, I don't know what it's going to take. Maybe you should be thrown out on the street.
Possible, but I do want to highlight when I introduced the deputy, he made this case and so many others, including Summer Heat, his priority to come in here and solve it for the American people. And today, I'm proud to stand here before you and say, we solved it. He will have his day in court. The American public and the world will learn even more information through the legal process.
Okay, if your life is better now, Uncle Gadget, what state you live in? Let us know what state and city, what state. Just let us know the state. What state's doing better? Go ahead. My life is better now. What state you live in, Uncle Gadget? I just want to know what state that is so everybody can come and shop in your state. Know where the prices are better. Know where the life is better now. What state is that, Uncle Gadget? Anybody that's life is better now, let them know what state is better in so we can go look up the data. Okay, let's look up the data right now. Florida, Las Vegas. Okay, let's see here. Is life better in Las Vegas? Are prices better in Las Vegas for the middle class? Let's see here. Is life better? Man, I don't know. I don't even know. Look, this is crazy, man. Okay, let's see here. It says some sources estimate the cost of living to be only slightly below or similar to national average. That's not good, my friend. In case you haven't heard, the national average ain't good right now, and they're saying that it's slightly below the national average. On certain expenses, healthcare, in some cases, goods and services, Las Vegas tends to be cheaper than the U.S. average. Okay, well, that's good for people who rent rather than buy. Okay, there are apartment rent options that may be within reach for a middle-class paycheck, depending on income and lifestyle. These aspects mean, okay, so maybe it is cheaper. I mean, but is that? Okay, the aspects mean, okay, middle-class individuals or families, especially if earning a stable and they're willing to budget. Okay, are you willing to budget? Or are you rich? You're not middle class? Okay, I'm just, these things matter. Las Vegas might offer reasonable standard of living without being as expensive as, say, large coastal or major metropolitan cities in the U.S. But there are serious cost pressures, especially housing. Both rent, home buying is a major challenge. Median home prices in the area remain high. Okay, that makes home ownership difficult for many middle income households. The metro has recently been ranked among the less affordable major metros for housing. Okay, that's cities, metro areas. For many renters, housing costs consume a large share of income, especially if wages don't keep up. Okay. Other expenses, utilities, especially due to air conditioning in a hot months. I hope you got some. If you need air conditioning, how's your electric bill? Okay, food, transportation tend to be somewhat higher. Okay, food and transportation tend to be somewhat higher. Okay, well, that's good for you. Good for you. Which can eat into savings, disposable income. Okay, that's good for you people. And, if you think that's better, then hey, great. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I don't really think you need to go too far to really know that that's cap. You know what I'm saying? That things aren't better. You know what I mean? But if that's what you think, if you think things are better for you, then hey, go ahead.
Process,
go right forward.
As we have committed under this Attorney General, we are the most transparent law enforcement operation in U.S. history. But we are also going to make sure.
I mean, some of these people that be capping, they think the news is not printed on the internet. They think it's not digital. They think it's not more accessible than ever and shit. They be like, life is better for me. No, yeah, I love Trump.
Accountability is delivered to its fullest extent, and that happens in the courts of law with our U.S. attorneys and our prosecutors. So we will divulge information when it is prudent and constitutionally permissible, while upholding the safeguards of this case to make sure that the people that this individual intended to victimize get the accountability they deserve, and most importantly, to deliver on President Trump.
What the fuck does that mean? The people he intended to, okay, but they can get the accountability, right? Who are the people that he intended to hurt? Those are the same people that the January 6 people intended to hurt. Same people. Look, Mike Pence is a Republican. They wanted to hang Mike Pence. Nancy Pelosi is a Democrat. They wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi. Okay. What is this guy talking about? President Trump didn't want them to get
the safeguards of this case to make sure that the people that this individual intended to victimize get the accountability they deserve?
Did they get the accountability? No, they got a pardon. You know, the representatives, the police and all of that shit, what did they get? Did they get accountability from the Jan 6 rioters? No. Were the Jan 6 rioters after Republicans and Democrats? Yes, they were. They were going to kill people that didn't, Republicans, and that didn't go along with Trump. That's why they wanted to hang Mike Pence, because they wanted Mike Pence to refuse those electoral the electoral votes. Yeah, they wanted him to replace those with some fraudulent ones. And so because he wouldn't do it, they threatened to kill him that day. The bomber wanted to harm the same group of people, Republicans and Democrats, lawmakers. So again, this is irrational. What he's saying is irrational. It's cap, you know, and you can't have it both ways. Nobody can have it both ways. You can't do that. You know, you have to stand on what you believe all the time for people to believe that that's you. That's the type of person you are. If you flip flop, people start saying you're not really that kind of person. You know, it depends on what, you know, who it's about and what day. Then you can change your principles. That's what's going on here. People don't believe Kash Patel, you know, because he doesn't stand on principle. Pam Bondi, you know, he flipped on the Epstein files because he doesn't stand on principle. Pam Bondi, same thing, doesn't stand on principle. Trump don't stand on, and Trump is even worse. He has no principle to ever stand on. It's not even about principle with him. He doesn't even pretend to be about principles.
And most importantly, to deliver on President Trump's promise to secure our nation's capital and the rest of the cities in this country, to make sure that Americans are allowed to go out free and securely in their neighborhoods, and that people around the world are allowed to visit our nation's capital. And they now have that trust thanks to the leadership of the FBI, the Washington.
Somebody said they weren't trying to kill anybody, man. What are you talking about? Are you even American? Like, how do you not know your own news? Like, what's going on? Is it selective memory or something going on there, or what? Or do you want it to happen again? I mean, now here's the thing. You know, the bomber wanted to kill people, the same people, Republicans and Democrats. Now, did people threaten to kill Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi on Jan 6? I mean, let's see here. Yeah. Yes, multiple documented threats to kill both Mike Pence here. Man, what is up with these? You know, some of y'all just aren't even really trying to be, again, you don't stand on principle. That's basically it. A lot of you guys are used to not standing on principle. So, yes, documented threats to kill both Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi were made during the Jan 6 attack. These are not rumors. They are established in FBI charging documents. See, Kash Patel knows that. Why you don't know that, I don't know. But if you don't know that, maybe you made a mistake. But if you keep making that mistake, you're either a fraud, don't stand on principle, or you're stupid. Okay? U.S. Justice Department indictments. Okay? You see? Video evidence. Did you know there was video evidence of the threats to kill them? Yeah. Congressional testimony. Yeah, they talked about it in the congressional hearings. Police radio logs. Did you know the police, Capitol Police radio logs have the threats on, you know, officer statements. He heard them. Kill Nancy Pelosi. Okay. Threats against Mike Pence. Crowd chants, rioters chanting, hang Mike Pence repeatedly as they breached the Capitol. Hang Mike Pence. Okay. This appears on police body cams, cell phone videos, and national news footage. Constructed gallows, wooden gallows with a noose, was erected outside the Capitol. Yeah. Rioters were recorded saying Pence should be hanged for certifying the election results. They didn't want him to certify the election results. They wanted him to overthrow the Democratic election. So they were threatening to hang him. You know, there were people that came, you know, with a thing to hang him. It was part of a plan. Yeah. It wasn't, at the last moment. It wasn't a last moment thought like, damn, can't we build a hangman thing? No, they came with it. FBI, DOJ evidence, multiple defendants were charged with making violent threats against Pence. Okay, several rioters said on video they wanted to kill Pence. I mean, should people make these kind of threats towards you? Are you okay with that? With people making threats towards you like this? I mean, put a 1 in the chat if you're okay with people making threats to you like this. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not. I put a 2 in the chat because, like I said, if I was on the Capitol and somebody was saying that shit to me, I'd probably shoot their ass and have no problem with it at all. Like straight up. If I was one of those Capitol Police, I'm pretty sure I would, So, okay. So, Riley Clancy says he's okay with people making threats to him like that. Okay. Yosef Shetty, if that's even a real person, says he's okay with people making threats, death threats towards him. Okay. Now let's go back. Well, you can have all the death threats you want, but be prepared. You make death threats towards the wrong person, you're going to get shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially in person in real life. Okay. So, here we go. Several rioters said video they wanted to kill Pence or arrest him and carry out an execution for treason. Okay, security service testimony. Agents protecting Pence reported fear for his life and prepared to evacuate him urgently. Threats against Nancy Pelosi. Rioters searching for her. Multiple groups inside the Capitol yelled, "Where are you, Nancy?" while breaking into her office suite. Some shouted they were going to kill her. We're going to kill her. That's what they said. DOJ charging documents. Several defendants admitted their goal was to capture or harm Pelosi. Okay, they admitted it. That's for the person that said they didn't want to kill her. Yeah. In any case, I guess you don't really know Americans for you, because Americans kill people all the time and also say they want to all the time. And this is one of the instances, One rioter recorded himself saying he was looking for Pelosi to put a bullet in her head. I mean, the dude recorded himself saying it. Okay. I mean, these are Americans here. These are Americans. This is how a lot of Americans think, Congressional and law enforcement. I mean, at least the people at January 6th, Congressional and law enforcement statements, Capitol Police and FBI affidavits state that rioters made explicit death threats towards Pelosi. So there you have it. I mean, but then again, you probably already knew this, but you just on the internet trolling because you're not a serious person. So
Field
let's
office,
go on.
And I'm honored now to introduce to you. Make sure that Americans are allowed to go out free and securely in their neighborhoods, and that people around the world are allowed to visit our nation's capital, and they now have that trust thanks to the leadership of the FBI, the Washington Field Office, and I'm honored now to introduce to you Deputy.
Now, when people visit Washington, D.C., should visitors, when people come to visit Washington, D.C., should they be able to do the same thing that happened on Jan 6? Would that be okay? If you thought that was okay and that others should be able to do it, put a 1 in the chat. If you think hell no, then put a 2 in the chat. Okay? Let me see here. I can see somebody is trying to play games with the repeating the statements. There you go. Now, yeah, put a 1 in the chat if you think it's okay for people to do what was done on Jan 6. And that is the rioters. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. I'm putting a 2 in the chat because I don't, and I wouldn't want anyone else to go there and do the same thing. I think that would be unfortunate and, of course, a crime. But there are people, you can see some people that think they want other people to do it. You see? So Jeff, he wants more people to do that. He thinks it's okay. But does Kash Patel think it's okay today? Jeff, do you think Kash Patel thinks it's okay? Yeah, let's see.
Director Bongino, who spearheaded this investigation.
Oh, Bongino spearheaded the investigation. Damn, this is going to be deep. I got to hear this part. 2 seconds. Yeah, that's great. Bambino. That almost sounds like little baby. Bambino. Okay. Let's see here.
Thank you all for
Director Bambino.
being here for this critical investigation we've been working on for a very long time. We deeply appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, Attorney General and Director. I appreciate it. Folks, this is what it's like when you work for a president who tells you to go get the bad guys.
So he's back on Trump's jock strap now.
Extraneous things not related to law enforcement. This is what happens. We had a great team. I know it's said a lot in this business. It was a team effort. It becomes cliche, but cliches are useful for a reason because they matter. And this was a team effort. The director and the attorney general emphasized that it was not a new public tip this came from. This was our internal work at the FBI. And I want to just really express my sincere gratitude to this attorney general and this president for allowing us the latitude. I spoke with Ms. Bondi very early when we, maybe day 2, and I said, we're going to get this guy. And she said, yes, you are. And we did. I want to also thank, he's not here, but Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Are you going to get anybody? Are you going to get anybody related to the Epstein files?
Often as well, who could not have been more supportive. Whatever.
Are you going to get anybody related to Jam 6?
Process we need, Judge Janine, Todd.
I mean, they got the bomber. That's one guy. You know, at least they got one out of thousands.
And Attorney General Bondi, they were there. All you had to do, they were a phone call away. And their team was amazing. We actually never had to make that phone call because they were always responsive. And thank you, Judge, as well. You were amazing.
Judge, she's a damn drunk, it looks like. Have you heard that? I don't know for sure, but they people be saying she's a drunkard, basically. Not saying that, you know, that all drunk people are bad people, and it's a lot of people that struggle with stuff, but apparently she's been known to, like, guzzle them down, you know?
Folks, you're not going to walk into our capital city, put down 2 explosive devices, and walk off in the sunset. Not going to happen. We were going to track this person to the end of the earth. There was no way he was getting away. Well, we didn't have to track him to the end of the earth. It wound up in Woodbridge, Virginia. I want to thank the team. They were amazing. They never let this go.
Okay, so, you know, they also, there's 3 elements. There were the people, the Jan 6 rioters, they got prosecuted. Trump pardoned them. That was like 1,000 people, you know, roughly. Then there was some guns seized outside of D.C. the same day that people were planning to distribute. Apparently they were waiting for a call or something like that, and they were going to bring the guns into D.C., right? And then there's this pipe bomb. That's the 3rd element to January 6th, right? Yeah. So, you know, I'm curious because, you know, actually all those things happened under Trump. They all happened under Trump, right? They're all connected. Whoever these people were, they were listening to Trump, you know? The people that wanted to hang Mike Pence, they were listening to Trump. The people that wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi, they were listening to Trump. The people that brought the guns, they were listening to Trump. They were aware of this event that day. The people, this bomber, I mean, how'd he hear about the event? Because I didn't. What the fuck? How many of you heard, yeah, I've been invited to a MAGA event down on Jan 6. Yeah, we're going to go storm the Capitol. How many of you heard that in the chat? Put a 1 if you got an invitation, because I damn sure didn't get no invitation. Yeah.
Again, Attorney General Bondi, for your incredible support. Director Patel, Judge, I know they're giving me a lot of unnecessary credit, but make no mistake, they were intimately involved in this and were there for all of those supportive mechanisms, and I deeply appreciate it. The man whose team did the work is the...
This is ridiculous. You know, what is this? They're like, I know they're giving me a lot of credit. Yo, this is like, this is weird. I'm sorry. This is not professional. This ain't professional right here. This is too much. But they always do this grandstanding. Whenever this is what they did with Charlie Kirk. I mean, no, they didn't do it with Charlie Kirk because I guess it was away from too many bozos connected to this administration. It was, so they had real police on the job and shit, and they weren't being political, so Kash Patel was like a fish out of water and shit. But here, it's like they are all grandstanding here,
Director in charge.
They don't, keep in mind, the guy's not convicted yet. They don't know everything, Is someone else connected to this crime? They're acting like it's solved. It's a victory lap. Is that professional? I'm just saying. Pam Bonnie's even smiling like, yeah. Okay, well, what are you smiling about? What is it? You heard them even laughing. It's like, I don't know. This doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem serious, yo, to be honest.
Washington field office, Darren Cox. Darren's got some comments, and Darren has some.
I'm not talking about the average police officer or law enforcement. I'm talking about the leadership. They don't talk serious.
More details on the case he can provide. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Darren Cox. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office. Today's arrest of the alleged D.C. pipe bomber.
Okay, this sounds a little more professional because at least you used the word alleged.
Is a momentous day for the American public, for the FBI, for our Joint Terrorism Task Force, or the JTTF, and our partners, the U.S. Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and ATF. We've also had a large number of other federal, state, and local departments that have worked on this investigation. And last but not least, the U.S. Attorney's Office. We all worked hand in hand to solve this investigation. This has been a long week in D.C. After the terrorist attack last week, the grit and determination of the FBI and our law enforcement partners is an example to the American public of what cooperation.
Wait a second. He said terrorist attack. Was the shooting? Yeah, because the news has been going pretty fast, so I just want to double check if that's what they're saying now about that. Good question. Listen, Listen, there's a bumble right there. There's a bumble. This guy just made a mistake. This is not yet a terrorist attack officially. It's not yet. Have you all heard them say it was a terrorist attack publicly? Have you seen any publication that said that concluded it was a terrorist attack? Let me know what publication that is, and I'm going to look that up right now. If anybody knows a publication that said this was a terrorist attack, name the publication. Yeah, let me see. Just name the publication. Yes won't do it, but let me see here. So let me see here something. Now, it's still being investigated. Yeah, it's still being investigated. They don't know what it is yet. Right. Yeah, so that's pretty interesting. This would almost be like a news break right here. The fact that the FBI now are calling it a terrorist attack. Like, is he being prosecuted as a terrorist? I mean, has the person committed the act been charged for terrorism? I'm curious about that. Has he been charged with terrorism? No. So look, it seems like that was a blunder. It seems like that was a blunder, y'all. Yeah, it seems like that was a blunder. You said New York Times? Okay. You said you don't count Joseph because you didn't really Let me see here. He's lying. And anyway, y'all, don't worry about him. He's just trolling. Listen, the guy hasn't been anybody else that's not a troll. You can respond because Joseph is just a troll. You can't even take him serious no more. But yeah, it seems Friars. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Has anybody stated that was a terrorist attack? That shooting? Any police? I don't think so. I don't think it has been. So this one I'm going to strike down as a blunder. You know, he sounded professional when he started, but it sounds like a blunder now, because the bottom line is that if you go out there as a FBI representative and you call something a terrorist attack and you have not charged the person of that, what's wrong with you? Like, that's jumping the gun. And that's also what people say Kash Patel did plenty of times with the Charlie Kirk shooting. Jump the gun in public statements, you know?
This has been a long week.
Let's hear it again.
Of other federal, state, and local departments for our joint terrorism I'm Darren Cox. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the Washington Field Office. Today's arrest of the alleged D.C. pipe bomber is a momentous day for the American public, for the FBI, for our Joint Terrorism Task Force, or the JTTF, and our partners, the U.S. Capitol Police, Metropolitan Police Department, and ATF. We've also had a large number of other federal, state, and local departments that have worked on this investigation. And last but not least, the U.S. Attorney's Office. We all worked hand in hand to solve this investigation. This has been a long week in D.C. After the terrorist attack last week, the grit and determination.
Yeah, you see, so yeah, that's not what is popping. That's not what's popping. So I think he slipped on that. But
the FBI.
It's all good. He could, it's just important. I just want to let people know that actually this guy hasn't been charged of terrorism, and it hasn't even been defined as a terrorist attack by the FBI yet. So, but in any case,
and our law enforcement partners is an example to the American public of what cooperation, partnership, and selfless service can accomplish. The amount of effort the FBI and our partners devoted to identifying the pipe bomber cannot be overstated. It is the resolve and determination of our investigators that ultimately led to the identification and the arrest of this suspect.
I mean, it's now starting to sound more like grandstanding to me, like it's just repeating the same things, each one of them. It's like, listen, police work is hard work. People's lives, they put their lives in danger every day. Right? That's part of the job. Usually it goes without a pat on the back, by the way. Right? It's also assumed that danger is involved. It's assumed by any rational thinking person. You don't need to pat yourself on the back. Let the public pat you on the back. You know what the fuck? This dude is like, let me pat myself. Also, Dan Bongino is like, they said they all giving me credit for this shit. Yo, what the hell? It's like, damn, what the hell, man? Just let the public pat you on the back, man. What the hell? You don't have to tell people, damn, how great you are. What the fuck? Anyway, yeah, I would really like to play more of this, but it's like, when can I get substance? Just give me the substance. I want news. I don't want you telling me what a great fucking job you did. I mean, come on, man. You get paid money. It's expected. Do your job, motherfucker. Okay, that's it. Really.
We all know.
Sorry to say it that way, but the Trump administration is weird. They, you have to almost talk like that because nobody else fucking grandstands like they do.
Pipe bombs
when they do their job and get a government check
are dangerous. Not because of the potential loss of life, damage to property, or injury that they can cause, but also because they are tools that terrorize our community.
He didn't use terrorism. Terrorize, terror. It's like, yeah, we get it, man. We understand. We get it. It's not the first time. We done lived through terrorism. 9/11, Oklahoma bombings. Americans know what the fuck terrorism is, you know? And we also know what terroristic threats are, okay? A lot of that happens to elected officials every fucking day. Judges every goddamn day. Okay, I mean, but that's the world we live in, especially right now. That's how it is. That's the politics in the United States of America right now. Terroristic threats, kicking in the Capitol building door. You know what I mean? Threatening to kill lawmakers. You know, that's what it is. We get it. We get it. But use some other words besides terrorism, the terrorism task force and terroristic threats and having to go find terrorists and they do terroristic things. And it's like, damn, man, come on.
Want to learn how to clone
Get some other goddamn words, man. You're like, it's just, I don't know. Am I being too harsh? I don't know. I'm not impressed. And that's cruel because I wanted them to catch the guy, but now that they caught, we actually, to be honest, we don't even know if this is the guy. He hasn't been convicted yet. He's alleged. This dude is alleged. He's alleged, and there's a reason why he's alleged, because he hasn't been convicted. You don't know if it's the right guy. So celebrating, they celebrated prosecuting Comey. How'd that turn out? They celebrated prosecuting Letitia James. How'd that turn out? Not too well. So let's see how this one turns out.
Although they certainly could have. But make no mistake,
what the hell he just said?
Terrorize our community. Fortunately, these bombs did not explode, although they certainly could have. But make no mistake, the alleged pipe bomber did terrorize our community. Today's actions underscore the long memory and the long reach of the FBI and our partners. I know some people had given up on finding the perpetrator, but not the FBI and not.
Look at this. Some dumbass said, no, he was the one. He was black. But what does race have to do with that? What does his color have to do with that, File Solo? I mean, are you saying most of the pipe bombers in the U.S. are black? Like, what does that mean? I'm just curious. Let me see something here. 2 seconds. Go to channel. Yeah, I mean, look, Augustine Sanchez. Are you an American citizen or are you an illegal immigrant? Sorry, I'm asking. It's just standard. Just standard. I have to ask because sometimes it could be, you see how crazy people are? There was one dude that was like, I'm a Mexican immigrant and I voted for Trump. So you could expect anything from anybody. You know what I'm saying? You could expect anything. I'm an illegal immigrant and yeah, he did it because he's black. I mean, people say anything. Okay. So this guy, hold on. He's black, is on the video. But that doesn't mean he did it. What the heck are you talking about? No, he's the one. He was black. Okay, so you just referring to him, what they say the guy they arrested. I mean, well, they arrested a black guy, but just for the record, most of the pipe bombers in the United States of America are not black. Just for reference. And shit, you want me to do one of those? Let's see here. What ethnicity of people in the United States commit the most pipe bombings in the last, let's say here, 20 years, right? Let's just say 20. Let's keep it short, I mean, we could say more. I could just say all, right? There's no point. I could say in the last 100 years. How about that? Let's see here. Do they have the ethnicity of the people here? Let me see here. Yes. I mean, what do y'all think in the chat? What do you think the ethnicity is? Since this guy's black, what the heck? Hey, but keep in mind, I'm not saying black people, the DC sniper was black, even though he wasn't really in DC. They just tried to stigmatize DC with that. But, you have some crime that's done by black people. No question about it. You have crime that's done by white people. No question about it. You have crime that's done by all different groups of people. Now, so I'm just curious about, since that. Oh, my God. Let me see here. I'm just curious since the idea of him being black. I'm sure. So I wonder who's going to, who they probably finally happy. Finally, yeah, we got one black pipe bomber out of 1,000. See? I told you it's not just us. I know black people know what pipe bombs are because, we've been victims. I think one was in South Carolina. No, in the South. Was it Atlanta? Some Nazi racist KKK dude dropped a pipe bomb down there, right? Yeah, the alleged shooter is a black guy, Ruffy. The alleged bomber is a black guy this time around. That's for sure. Yeah, they did, but he's alleged. But in any case, let's go back to this. Who cares? You know what I'm saying? I don't really care if he's black or white. I care that he's caught and the motive is found out. That's what I think is more important because, and listen, I was saying this, with young people, his age, there's other aspects to his profile that are interesting. It's not his color that stands out to me. I think it was his age and that age group. Like my age group, I'm 55, so we didn't grow up with this internet stuff. I grew up reading books, okay, and getting information from books and newspapers, right? So how the information comes to you is very different, right? You know who the author is. It's somebody that's credible, someone that is established, these kind of things pretty much. When you're dealing with the internet, which is what our young people today are dealing with, there's none of that. There's not a lot of this fact checking. There's not a lot of this knowing who is actually giving you the information because they hide behind internet profiles, right? They could pretend to be anybody. There's not always a lot of vetting because due to freedom of information, you're allowed to say lies over the internet. You're allowed to, and if you're not intelligent enough to be able to kind of see between the lies, a lot of people get radicalized through those lies, and I think for me, what stands out the most is he's in that age group where that tends to happen. And it's not, I think it just happens, across the board. You have access to the internet, computers. That's more encouraged with this age group. And yeah, I think that's maybe closer to the problem. And I would really like to know who's behind it. But when you're dealing with the internet, it makes it very hard to know who's behind it. These young kids visit these sites. They're meeting all kinds of people, and you can never figure out who they were. Same thing with the guy that tried to shoot Trump. They'll never get to the bottom of it. He's dead. So I'm glad they caught this guy alive. It helps if you want to find out more. Jeffrey Epstein's dead. If he was alive, you'd have an opportunity to find out more, but he's dead. So that shuts that down from him. Right. And yeah, but in any case, let's hear a little more of this. I want to actually get past this grandstanding, but
not our partners. We do not forget, we do not give up, and we do not relent. Though it had been nearly 5 years, our team continued to churn through massive amounts of data and tips that we used to identify this suspect.
Now, let's just be real. That is the FBI's job. No matter who the president is, until the crime is solved, a crime like this, they will be looking through it for 20 years, as they do. Have you ever seen the most wanted list? God damn, they looking for people for 20 years. 30 years, some of the people, like, active, just ongoing investigations. And every once in a while, they get a new group to take another look at it. And even under one president, they might get several different groups of people to look at it. Some of it might have to do with, it could be a lot of different factors depending on how long it takes. 5 years is not that long, though. 5 years is not that long, I would say. It's okay. It's within reason.
I want to thank Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino for their leadership and for providing us the resources and the person.
Hey, look at this. The cheese says, I want to quote his, dude, you are not saying anything insightful or intelligent or helpful. You are just whining like a typical liberal, full of hate and delusions. Well, why are you here then? You like hate and delusions? I mean, it's really weird because I don't go to places that annoy me. You do? That's weird, man. Why you obsessed with me? Why don't you go around your own people you like, people you got free time. You spending your free time with me, helping my algorithm. I mean, if you don't worry, I can take criticism. Trust me, I can take criticism. But this one, you got to come a little bit deeper than that, my friend, because I'm definitely insightful and I'm saying some very intelligent things. And I'm not really whining because my healthcare prices ain't going up. I got a union job. My kids get paid to go to school. What is there to whine about? There's nothing to whine about. Are you okay? How you doing? How's your life? How's the prices where you live? How's your town doing? What town you live in? I live in Copenhagen, Denmark. I'm an American citizen, born and raised in Washington, D.C. Both sides of my family is from the colonial period in the U.S. How about you, bro? Let me know about you. Anything about you? You want to share with everybody since we here sharing the cheese? You can share about yourself. Don't worry. Help me understand you, cheese. I guess cheese ain't got nothing to say anymore. Okay, cheese. Well, see you later, cheese.
Personnel to reevaluate all of the data that we had. We dove into more than 3 million lines of data to come up with this suspect. Director Patel, Deputy Director Bongino, thank you for your support.
Yeah, Cheese is defending his Cheeto leader, the orange Cheeto.
Thank you for your passion, and thank you for your investment in this investigation. From me, on behalf of the investigators, the Washington Field Office, and all of our partners, thank you. I'd also like to thank Judge Pirro. Judge,
this is just bullshit. They just up there thanking each other. Man, fuck all of you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm not impressed. I just got to say that. I have to say it because I listened, right? I gave it a fair shot. I'm not going to listen to drunk ass drunkie over there. Let me listen to a police officer, finally. Goddamn, a real one. Someone that will work for a Republican or Democrat, okay? Let me hear the black woman speak, okay? Shit, goddamn, I want to hear someone that's not a goddamn Trump appointee, okay? I want to hear a rank and file person, okay? Finally. Here we go. A real officer on deck now, a real crime fighter. Time to listen up.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agency standing here today.
She didn't thank herself? What the fuck is going on here? She didn't go. And first of all, I want to pat myself on the back. I've been working as a police officer for 10 years. She didn't pat herself on the back first. Yo, this is crazy. It's the exact opposite. Okay.
Today have worked together. Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agencies standing here today have worked together under the leadership of the FBI to locate our suspect who is responsible for the 2 pipe bombs that were placed around.
listen, she just cold busted their ass. Because Kash Patel started off by saying, and the Biden administration didn't refuse to do anything. That's not what this lady just said. She said the FBI they've been working on this case for 5 years. That's different. Pam Bondi sure enough didn't say that either. Without our President Trump. God damn. Listen to this statement again. This is a real statement here. I had a suspicion she was going to be rank and file professional. Let's see here.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agency standing here today have...
Do they like this lady? Look at their faces while she's talking, man. She's being very professional. Look at their faces, y'all. This weird, man.
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro.
Here we go.
To the Attorney General.
President Trump's directive to all of us was to...
Speed it up. Speed it up.
And Smith.
Here we go.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi.
Look, she turned her head. She turned her head. Soon as she started addressing her, she turned her head away from her. Like, what's up with that?
U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agencies standing here today have worked together under the leadership of the FBI to locate our suspect who is responsible.
You see, they don't like her statement. Her statement is nonpartisan, and they don't like it. Yeah, and somebody said because she's black. Yeah, that might be it too. I mean, hey, I mean, allegedly, that's what people be saying. That's what people say. Watch their body language. This is really weird. They change a little when she come on the set.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, and FBI Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agencies standing here today have worked together under the leadership of the FBI to locate our suspect who is responsible for the 2 pipe bombs that were placed around our city. MPD members assigned to the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force have supported this case from the beginning. That supports include looking, reviewing, and going through countless, probably thousands of hours of CCTV footage from around the DNC and RNC headquarters, and they followed up on hundreds and thousands of leads from members of our communities. What I will say today is that Washingtonians can rest easier today knowing that the suspect responsible for this act is now in custody. This morning's arrest is yet another reminder that committing any act with the intention of harming the residents and visitors of the District of Columbia will result in your arrest. The men and women of the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Capitol Police, and certainly the prosecutors at our U.S. Attorney's Office will go to the furthest length. I heard somebody say to the end of the earth, but thank God we didn't have to go to the end of the earth today, that we were able to bring this subject into custody. I want to commend the men and women of the FBI and the members of the Metropolitan Police Department and all of the agencies who are standing behind me today on a job well done. I will turn it over now to Attorney General Bondi.
Okay, hold on here. Let me see something.
We're going to take some questions. Just remember, as I said in the beginning, this is ongoing. It's very active. The search warrants are still being executed.
There we go. So that was the most professional statement I heard out of the entire damn group, to be honest. And I felt safer when she was talking. And I'm not just saying that. She's a obviously rank and file professional. Like this, whoever this woman is, has experience doing this. Her statement was not partisan. She didn't put down the Biden administration. and the FBI under the Biden administration. She did not do that. She actually said the opposite. She said that the FBI had been working on this case diligently for 5 years. So she said she made a nonpartisan statement, a professional statement, a statement that should make people feel, that gives trust to people. What Pam Bondi and them are doing with all these partisan statements, that doesn't make anybody fucking trust them. That makes people not trust them. And that's exactly why people don't. Because they can't make a statement without making it a partisan one. You know, this is a person, again, that wanted to kill Republicans and Democrats. There's nothing partisan about that. There should be nothing partisan about that. You see, the January 6 rioters that made those death threats, they wanted to kill Republicans and Democrats. What's the partisanship about that? Biden prosecuted people that wanted to hang a Republican vice president. Is that partisan? You see what I'm saying? And it's just really, that's why I don't fuck with this other bullshit, because it's partisan. And if it's partisan, it's not professional. This is not what you pay taxpayers. This is not what makes taxpayers feel comfortable. What makes taxpayers feel comfortable is when you do your job and leave the partisan shit and the politic behind, because you're not paid to be a Republican here. You're not paid to be a Democrat here. You're paid to be a public servant, a civil servant, and do your job. Okay. Once you take this job, no one should give a fuck about what party you're with, and you shouldn't be mentioning the party you're with or the other party or all of that, because it's not going to help anybody. It's not part of the job, So she said that the FBI had been working on this for 5 years. That's not what Kash Patel said. That's not what Pam Bondi said. They tried to make it seem like while Joe Biden was president, the FBI didn't do shit. No, and that they refused. Look, let's bring it back. That's literally what Kash Patel said. His bitch ass. I'm sorry, excuse me, ladies, but this motherfucker, goddamn, he literally said that they refused. Listen to this.
Under President Trump's leadership here. And that's what we did here today with great resolve on a case of massive public importance, as it should be. An individual who is now alleged to have placed multiple explosive devices to blow up multiple people and multiple officials, innocent civilians, is now arrested thanks to the brave men and women of the FBI and the interagency. I want to take a moment to thank the Metropolitan Police Department, the United States Capitol Police, our brave prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and our leader, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro, whose relentless work on this case made this possible. As the Attorney General said, we did not discover any new information. What we did, an investigation spearheaded by the Deputy Director and the ADIC of our Washington field office, brought in a new team of investigators and experts, re-examined every piece of evidence, sifted through all the data, something that the prior administration refused and failed to do.
You see that? Refused something that the prior administration refused and failed to do.
As a result of that, we generated numerous investigative leads.
Okay, so he's clearly saying the FBI under Biden refused to do it. Okay, but that's not what this woman said. She said something else.
Chief Smith.
Chief Smith said something different.
Good afternoon, and thank you, everyone. I am Chief Pamela Smith, Chief of Police of the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro,
Edward,
and
what's
FBI
up?
Director Patel for having me here today. For nearly 5 years, the agencies standing here today have worked together under the leadership of the FBI to...
There it is. There it is. They didn't work together under the leadership of Biden. They didn't work together under the leadership of Trump, the FBI.
locate our suspect who is responsible for the 2 pipe bombs that were placed around our city. MPD members assigned to the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force have supported this case from the beginning. That supports include looking, reviewing, and going through countless, probably thousands of hours of CCTV footage from around the DNC and RNC headquarters, and they followed up on hundreds and thousands of leads from members of our communities. What I will say today is that Washingtonians can rest easier today knowing that the suspect responsible for this act is now in custody. This morning's arrest is yet another reminder that committing any act with the intention of harming the residents and visitors of the District of Columbia will result in your arrest. The men and women of the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, the ATF, the U.S. Capitol Police, and certainly the prosecutors at our U.S. Attorney's Office will go to the furthest length. I heard somebody say to the end of the earth, but thank God we didn't have to go to the end of the earth today, that we were able to bring this subject into custody. I want to commend the men and women of the FBI and the members of the Metropolitan Police Department and all of the agencies who are standing behind me today on a job well done. I will turn it over now to Attorney General Bondi.
Okay, so
we're going to take some questions. Just remember,
again,
as I said in the beginning,
when you get into this partisan stuff, I see still somebody in the chat is on this partisan stuff. It took them 3 months to do it. Well, listen, how long did it take them to prosecute, to arrest, to do Jeffrey Epstein? How long did that take? Right? Who did that? How long? I mean, listen, how long did it take Biden when he was in office? He had his hands full because he had the Capitol. He had to prosecute the people that invaded the Capitol and wanted to kill the vice president and wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi. And actually 2 police officers died because of that. If you want to go tit for tat, this is why it's called partisan. It doesn't work in these matters because you're not supposed to be, as a professional, looking at this as partisan. As a citizen, that's not supposed to be your goal. That's not supposed to be your goal. Your goal would want to reward anyone that does something good and is effective. Not to say a person is effective in one thing, but nah, I'm not going to acknowledge that, but only acknowledge them when you think they're ineffective. What does that make you? A hypocrite, right? So, under Biden's administration, Ghislaine Maxwell was indicted and was taken to trial, right? She was prosecuted and convicted, right? Did you want her convicted? Why didn't, what was up with Trump? What was up with the rest of them? They didn't want her? Why didn't you see how you could play this game? You see? So it's just you just have to be fair, and if you don't want to be treated fair, then don't be fair. That's all. Because I know damn well sure if somebody's not fair with me, I'm not the type of person that's going to be fair to somebody's not fair to me. I'm going to dish some back to you. You see what I mean? I'm going to teach you a lesson, and you're going to accept it. You see what I'm saying? So, that's how I see it. People don't have to be reasonable. People choose to be. But if you're not going to be reasonable, nobody has to choose to be reasonable with you. You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about what Biden did do, since they talked about what Biden didn't do. And let's talk about what Trump did do. Trump fucked over your healthcare system for your family. He managed that also under this administration. Number one, he did do that. Okay, they didn't just catch the pipe bomber. They gave the wealthiest class of the nation the biggest tax break in the country's history. They did that also. They also accomplished that. So don't be afraid to acknowledge that. They withheld federal dollars for disasters in Republican states. They withheld SNAP to Republican states. Acknowledge that also. Now let's look at what Biden did. He didn't cut your health care off. He didn't withhold the emergency funding to any state. Okay. And he did prosecute Ghislaine Maxwell. She did survive to live and spend her time in jail. She didn't just mysteriously die. And here's what Trump did. He fired the person that prosecuted her. So let's acknowledge all of it. You see what I mean? Now, if you want to be a bitch ass, you won't. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'll admit Trump does some things good. Trump, let me see. Trump, what did Trump do good? What did Trump do good? What the fuck? I can't even, is it one thing Trump has done good? I mean, I don't think he's doing any. The only thing he's done is destabilize the United States of America, man. The dollar is weaker. The dollar is weaker, significantly weaker. Your buying power is significantly weaker, the average American. The country is in more insecurity. I could open up the stock market right now and see not one American car company doing shit. Not selling any goddamn cars, really. Just barely surviving because of Trump. Because nobody needs American cars, because if you can't produce electric cars, then you ain't going to be selling too many cars around the world anymore. Nobody wants fucking gas cars. Okay? People living in major cities don't want fucking gas cars. Don't you understand that? Get it through your thick fucking head. Okay? People that live in urban cities where the wealth is generated don't want to fucking pollute their air anymore. You know? And, so Trump pretty much failing. I mean, what did Trump do that was good? Attack Canada? Tariffs? Was tariffs good? I mean, what the fuck is he doing that's good? I can name loads of shit Biden has done that's good. Everything it seems like Trump has done is bad. I mean, maybe this is the one thing he did. Yeah, let's give him credit for that. Trump, you deserve all the credit for catching this one pipe bomber. Oh, yeah, and snatching up babies from their mother's arms, right? Arresting citizens, trying to kick citizens out of the United States of America. I mean, you did that too, but is that good? I mean, I don't think Trump got much to brag about. You know, they need to do a lot more work to impress. You know,
this is ongoing. It's very active. The search warrants are still being executed. Many charges potentially to come. So just keep that in mind when asking your questions.
Jake, Fox News.
Trump failed to prosecute Letitia James, failed to prosecute James Comey, right? These are bumbles even. These are the most ridiculous charges that have ever been put on a human being. And you may as well go back to the 1950s where they were just, Emmett Till, people like that. He whistled at a white lady. You know what I'm saying? These are like crazy. They just fucking trumped up charges on Letitia James, and they try to do it to everybody. And they like, what the fuck? You can't do this. There's no crime. Fire her. They won't prosecute her. Fire her. Get a new one. Then they hired somebody that can't even be a goddamn attorney, and try to get them to put charges. It's like that. I don't know if you noticed. That's fucking embarrassing. That is weird to do. Nobody can trust your Justice Department when you do things like that. You're literally telling people don't trust you. They're telling you you don't know what the fuck. You're saying to people, hey, by the way, my name's Pam Bondi, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Did you know that? That's basically her introduction in the room. I'm the lady that got a bimbo to prosecute a seasoned career prosecutor named Letitia James. And where did I come? With a bogus ass statement that the judge just laughed at. Like, damn, who wrote this? A kindergarten student? Like, yeah, that's what happened, and they threw it out.
Well. You said it had been nearly 5 years. We all know that. And that
I mean, look, everybody gets lucky one day. I guess this is their day. Everybody, you could make 1,000 fucked up moves and that person will still get one day lucky,
There's been no new evidence. So can you say anything about the evidence that actually did lead to this arrest? And then second.
Okay, hold on. Sorry about that. Now that was a good question.
Keep that in mind.
Let me hear this.
Nearly 5 years, we all know that. And that you said there have been no new evidence. So can you say anything about the evidence that actually did lead to this arrest? And then secondarily, you're talking about additional charges possibly. Can you say what those you might be considering, or terrorism charges, or what?
We can't discuss new charges, of course, yet, ongoing. But what I will say is this is why this was so incredibly important, more than any other case, is this is in our nation's capital where this happened. And now, thanks to the FBI, we know that this defendant was living just miles away from here in Virginia. So as to the evidence in the case, I'm going to let Director Patel take that, but it's still very active and very ongoing.
Thank you, General. And as I stated earlier, and as the General has already reiterated, our job is to provide full accountability in the court of law with Judge Pirro's team. And in order to do that, we have to preserve the chain of custody and evidentiary value. What I will say generally is that when you go through 3 million lines of information, y'all can think about the amount of cell phone data that has to be ingested and triangulated and dumped and received. You also have to think of just sheer human ingenuity. We brought in a team of experts who are the best at what they do in their specific fields to reevaluate that evidence, to dive back in, and to not come back with a no for an answer until they had found the suspect. And when you develop evidence, you get a search warrant. And when you get a search warrant, you get an address. And when you get an address, you hit the house. And that's what we did.
Sadie, Wall Street Journal.
Hi there. So what can you tell
Basically,
us about this person's motivation?
he didn't really say much, to be honest. Right there, it's just, but he didn't answer the question, what was the evidence, but I guess he can't really talk about that too much, but there wasn't, they re-examined the evidence, but people don't know what the evidence was. They gave a little bit of the phone conversations, the triangulation, but is that all the evidence? I doubt it. I mean, I don't expect him to say much. I actually think he said too much in the beginning, but
And whether they were driven by politics or for any other reason why.
Right now, it's ongoing. Again, we just executed the search warrant early this morning.
Yeah, it was word salad. It was word salad for what it was. It was,
It's ongoing, but America's safer, DC's safer because he's in custody.
I would say it's
okay. He's in custody, right? Okay. Let's see what else. I just want to finish this out, y'all, real quick. Let me see. Is there anything? I'm gonna do Maduro and Hegseth later on today. In about in 12 hours from now. So just you all that want to know, I'm going to reschedule that stream just for your information.
Mary Margaret, Daily Wire.
Thank you so much. So any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell you.
Damn, Kamala Harris was almost killed here? Okay, I didn't know that.
Daily Wire.
Thank you.
Early, he's in custody.
Mary Margaret, Daily Wire.
Thank you so much. So any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell.
Wow. So that was okay. Now that's very interesting because 20 feet from the vice president, from Kamala Harris, who was the incoming vice president. That's very interesting. Let me just bring that back a little bit here. I just want to make sure I heard everything. I didn't hear everything actually because the accent. Let's see here.
Harris has never mentioned coming with.
Mary Margaret, Daily Wire.
Thank you so much. So any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the.
You hear that question? That's an interesting question right there. Wow. Did y'all hear that? Yeah, let me pull it back. Let me pull that back. Damn, that's an interesting question.
Thank you so much. So any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No.
Wow.
But what I will tell you is That evidence has been sitting there collecting dust.
You know, she always does this. She, you know, it's like, it's going to be basically, it's the Biden fault. You know, that's going to be the answer basically, right? So, yeah, it doesn't, you know, see, with them, it's always a partisan issue. Why is, you know, when she asks her any reason, it's never something technical that you can learn. It's always a partisan answer. It's because it was Biden collecting dust. But is there anything else besides that? Like, is there something that was overlooked? That's really what people want to know. And she ain't going to tell you. Like, she's not going to tell you. I wonder why that is.
No, but what I will tell you is that evidence has been sitting there collecting dust. This wasn't a new tip. It wasn't some new evidence. It was the hard work.
She's not answering the question. She just got asked a specific question, and now she's just flipping back to the talking points again. That's really weird. I don't get that. I don't get that. Like, is she purposely not trying to answer that question? I mean, she's kind of good at flipping the script, like straight up, changing the subject. She's pretty good at that. Let me go back now. I'm going to let it play, the whole thing.
Safer because he's in custody.
Mary Margaret Taylor.
Thank you so much. So, any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell you is that evidence has been sitting there collecting dust. This wasn't a new tip. It wasn't some new evidence. It was the hard work of President Trump.
There's nothing. The woman did not ask that question. She's answering like a completely different question. She's answering a totally different question. Like, that's a damn good question. And you're right. Who said that? Somebody said that was a good question too. Yeah, that was a good question. That was a good question. And her answer is very strange. That's a strange answer. She didn't want to answer that question at all.
Thank you so much. So, any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated? And
did you hear the question? Did you hear the question, Kevin? She's asking about Kamala Harris coming. Why there's never any mention about Kamala Harris coming 20 feet from being assassinated? That's the top of the question.
And any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb?
And any news why her Secret Service team took so long to find the bomb. Okay? So she wasn't the vice president then. She was the incoming vice president. So the Secret Service she had is basically under Trump's administration. And so the question is, why did it take them so long to find the bomb that day? That day. They're talking about the bomb in front of the DNC. It was found that day, but why did it take longer? That's the question, okay? I think you didn't hear that. That's why I actually wanted to play it back, because you can see there's people that don't hear the question. They didn't hear the answer, apparently. So here we go. Now I'm going to let it play.
Early this morning, it's ongoing, but America's safer, DC's safer because he's in custody.
Mary Margaret Taylor.
Thank you so much. So, any theory on why Kamala Harris has never mentioned coming within 20 feet of being assassinated, and any news on why her Secret Service team took so long to find this bomb at the DNC?
No, but what I will tell you is that evidence has been sitting there collecting dust. This wasn't a new tip. It wasn't some new evidence. It was the hard work of President Trump's administration. Deputy Director Bongino and Director Patel. I watched them from day one come in here and say, we are going to solve this crime. And they did, working hand in hand with U.S. Attorney Pirro and all of our great attorneys.
Okay, she didn't answer that question. Somebody said, why don't you let it play and stop running your mouth? Listen, I don't know if you know about the rules of YouTube, but you have to give commentary. You can't just let videos play like that. You have to add your 2 cents, literally, my friend, Kevin Ferroto. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You're here to hear my 2 cents. If you want to just only hear the video, you need to go to their channel. Okay. Anyway.
General Bondi, Director Patel, or Deputy Director Bongino, can you describe, was there a particular moment?
Yeah, they found a file with listen, Sassy, they found a file with dust, but they can't find the Epstein files on it. No, they can't do that, can they? No, they got a lot of dust now.
Where the evidence is coming in and it's starting to look like progress is being made. What was the moment that you knew that you were on the road to solving the case?
Dan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure.
Good looking out, Rafiq.
Smiling at you because I certainly remember
Rafika.
the moment. Darren remembers it too. He said, "Are you sitting down?" Called me on the phone. I said, "Oh boy, why? Is this bad news?"
What? This is grandstanding. This is grandstanding right here. Like I don't give a fuck what it was like when Kash Patel called you and gave you the news. What the hell?
Dan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. What? Being made. What was the moment that you knew that you were on the road to solving the case?
Dan, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I was smiling at you because I certainly remember the moment. Darren remembers it too. He said, "Are you sitting down?" Called me on the phone. I said, "Oh boy, why? Is this bad news?" And he said, "I think we got him." What exactly that tip was, we're going to have to pass on that for right now while we're still,
Did he just say there was a tip? Because they just started off this whole thing saying there was no tip.
I think we got him. What exactly that tip was, we're going to have to pass on that for right now while we're still, obviously we're in the prologue of a long book. This is just the beginning. This is not the end of the investigation, as you all well know, having reported on these for a long time. There's interviews to be conducted. The search warrant processing scene is not even done. So we're at the early stages. So that's the only reason I hesitate to tell you what the exact tip was. But yes.
He said it again. He said it again.
Conducted. The search warrant processing scene is not even done. So we're at the early stages. So that's the only reason I hesitate to tell you what the exact tip was. But yes, that was absolutely the moment. And it was due to the diligent and incredible work of a team in the Washington field office that came in and just scoured through this over and over and over and over again.
In general, was it forensic? Was it a phone call? Was it something about a vehicle?
We'll just leave it generally forensic evidence. Yeah, it's fair enough to say. Excuse me?
How long ago that was?
I'd rather not say because of the ongoing interview process, and I don't want to.
Say one thing?
Yeah,
I just want to add something to tell you how thorough this team was. That moment that was kind of like the aha moment, that wasn't the end. This team continued to work and work and work to get every bit of evidence that we could get. We didn't stop at that moment, and that's a testament to the fact that the team wanted every possible.
What the heck? This is so amateurish. Like, so you get, I mean, who the hell stops at an aha moment? I mean, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? I don't get this. This is weird.
Piece of evidence that they could gather.
One more?
One more, Kelly O'Donnell, NBC.
Thank you so much. Have you recovered the notable sneakers? Have you done surveillance of this suspect from that aha moment to when you exercised the search warrants today? And obviously this happened on January 5th into January 6th. How should the public look at this case separate from all of the cases related to what transpired on January 6th and the president's subsequent pardons?
I'm going to let Director Patel take the evidence part. We have to be careful again. You've asked very good investigative questions, but this is ongoing, very active. But America should feel safer today. We say a pipe bomb. These are bombs. These were live, active bombs that were placed in Washington, D.C. Director.
Thank you. This shows you how much detail you and the American public have paid attention to this case.
You know, I got a question. Here's the question I would be asking, and you could tell this White House press, whatever department, the press is really weak right now because they've been firing people. I don't even know if they even, what kind of press is this? But a good question to ask is it connected to the January 6th Capitol invasion? Like, is it connected? Is it connected to any of the people? How come we haven't heard that question come up once? Like, to me, that's the obvious question. It's the obvious question. Did the suspect have any relation to anyone else in Jan 6? Simple. It happened the same goddamn day. Happened in the same city. What the fuck? It's political. It was a bomb at the GNC, bomb at the RNC. Jan 6 people wanted to get Republicans and Democrats. What is so complicated about that? You know, to me, that seems like the obvious goddamn question, you know, but for some reason, it's like the question hasn't come up once. I don't know.
Of course, we analyzed everything that you're seeing on.
They keep going back to it's analyzed. We've been analyzing. So what? We fucking know. Goddamn, we know that. Like, what is going on? We know what forensics is. Goddamn, it's like we know analyzing. You know, it's like look at the paper. We had to look at it again. But anyway, oh my God.
This poster board and information that you will see through the formal charging process and court process. But we want to let that evidence speak for itself because, again, we do not want to disrupt the accountability that we owe the American public. Yes, you heard about the cell phone tower data. Yes, you heard about, of course, we surveil individuals who we think were going to blow up American citizens. But how and when?
Think about this, y'all. Sorry for cutting that, but think about this. Now, look. There's people that say that Trump, you know, you saw how Epstein was threatening. You saw Epstein was threatening Trump, right? While he was free. 2019, before he got indicted, right? Is it 2019? Before Epstein got indicted, he was basically threatening Trump, talking to people about Trump openly, talking to Michael Wolff, talking to other people, emails, talking about Trump, saying I could take Trump down. All of those things right before he got indicted. So there's a theory. The theory is that Trump indicted him to control any more information from coming out, right? Now, think about this. This is Trump administration. This guy is now being indicted now under Trump. It's a person that committed an attack on January 6th in Washington, D.C. against the same individuals. Republican and Democrats, right? Could this be an arrest to shut the shit down? To shut down the information? Like, you see what I'm getting at? Put a 1 in the chat if you see where I'm getting with. Because that's what happened when they arrested Epstein. Basically shut the shit down. Right? He died. Did Trump release those files? Nope. He didn't release the files after Epstein died. People are still waiting for the files. You see? Yeah. I mean, to me, this is very, very suspicious. I don't doubt that this man did this, you know, although it's alleged. I don't have any reason to suspect that he didn't do it. I mean, of course, it's still alleged, but I mean, just keep in mind, they haven't been asked the obvious question. And the obvious question is, did the suspect have any relation to anyone else in Jan 6? And that means anybody. That means any of the Trump people that knew about this gathering coming up. Anybody. You see what I mean? Any relation to the guns that they found outside in Virginia? Any relation to the people that arranged the event? Right, because there's some of those people went to jail already that were a part of that. What was that? That was Trump's campaign. Some of his campaign people. Like, is there any relation? That to me is what I would be thinking right now. That would be the questions that would be on my mind if I was an American citizen, and I am, by the way. So that's the question that's on my mind. It seems like that's the elephant in the room, and we're gonna find out if they do something about that elephant in the room, you know. I hope this guy, wherever he is, I hope he lives. I hope he lives, you know, because I hope he lives to tell his story. And, you know, but more importantly, it just seems really, you know, I hope he lives. That's all I can say. I hope he lives. I hope he lives. Because if he doesn't live, that's going to be another one of those things people will never really fucking know, you know. But on that note, I'll be out. I'm going to be out. It was cool to actually see this live that they gave this, you know, whatever the hell, press conference, you know, if you want to call it that, kind of analyze it for myself, do a little reaction. And sorry about the tardiness yesterday. I had actually the electricity, you know, they was doing setting up some stations for some L cars out in front of where I live, right on the street, right directly in front of where I live, and something interrupted the power, you know. So it took a minute for that to be dealt with, and then it was too late. I couldn't do the live, so I had to go to work and all that. Somebody asked if I have a job. Yeah, I do. I work, my friend, and you know, I have a decent job, a union job, and you know, I'm not going to tell you what profession I work in, but you know, it's a useful one for a lot of people. And yeah, you know, I have a pretty good life, you know. Have kids and all of that, have to pay bills, you know what I mean? By the way, been working for like what, 20 something years, you know what I mean? Used to have my own business. And for people that want to know, I don't usually talk about that much, you know, but every once in a while somebody that doesn't like my commentary, you don't have a job. So there you have it, you know, for the people that that want to know that information. That's okay. Yes, I do have a job. I do take vacations. But anyway, as always, I appreciate everybody for coming out. And listen, in 12 hours from now, something like that, I'm going to be going in on Hex's ass because, you know, there's some analyzing to be done on him. Speaking of Kash Patel's word, he likes the word analyze. Analyze here. We're going to analyze that, although a lot of people have already. But what the hell? I'm going to take my stab at it. But I appreciate everybody for coming out. Until then, click the like button. Click the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And yeah, and that helps the more people see it, by the way. More people get the word, right? For those of you that don't know, they came in late. You know, I'm an American citizen that lives in Copenhagen, Denmark. I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I'm 55 years old, but I left. I've been traveling for a minute when I was in my 20s. I traveled a lot, doing different things in music and stuff like that. But in the U.S. and outside of the U.S. and you know, but my family on both sides has been in the Americas since the colonial period. So you know, yeah. And on top of that, some other things. I'm a lot into art and creating things. I'm a creative person, but I was featured in this documentary called The Legend of Cool Disco Dan. I don't know if any of you all ever heard of that. Who Cool Disco Dan is. Yeah. Big up to Dan. Rest in peace, Dan. That was you know, a real fine brother out of DC that really had a lot of love for his city. But I'm also featured in this book called Pump Me Up. It's about subculture in Washington, D.C. So you can check that out. That's by Roger Gassman and Joseph Patterson, right? So, yeah, that's enough information about me. But I appreciate everybody, even the haters. Y'all cool too. Y'all help the algorithm out, so no worries. But I'll be back at you guys in a little bit. So in the next 12 hours. So, you know, I hope everybody has a good Friday, good into the week. Stay safe. Help each other, by the way, because these are some tumultuous times. And, you know, look at this. What is y'all people? Anyway, also take care of people. Help each other. You know what I mean? In these hard times, it makes a difference because, you know, that might make the difference in the end and in the outcome, you know. So show love, show compassion for those that may not have it all good. You know, some of the people I saw in the chat said, oh, man, I love what Trump is doing. Okay, well, for the people that don't, take care of each other, show compassion. And as always, thanks for your support, too, here. I'll be back in a little bit, y'all. Peace. Release the Epstein files, you know what I'm saying? Impeach Trump, you know? Impeach Trump. We gotta save our country. One.
They want war. Crime babies looking for food. Starvation, the recipe. People subdued. When the people you trust got it in for you. Deceit is the word of the day and every clue. Don't let it go. It's from the days of old. Time is up, but some still do not know. Can I make up my mind? Is it worth the dime? Do I have to take a minute just to make it mine? Life's never fair, but don't listen to the TV. Go out and take a listen to the streets with the people in the slums and the homeless bums with degrees and degrees sitting under a tree. It's not easy in the world for the poor man, the one that brought you to reality. See, they don't want you to know about the black sheep. Leaving 7 roads to the 12 families all around the globe with an ancient code. Is it really asking a lot to say a death old? Cause we sitting on the earth looking back at extinct, and I'm standing on some ground that's about to sink. I ain't scared for a minute, I ain't about to blink, but I documented for the world what I see and think. Feel we on the call and I feel we on the break. All Congress gonna do is waste paper and ink. Vote or die. You voted and you'll die. You can have it both ways, can't say it's a lie. You can march all you want, but they playing you wrong. They only understand war, it's the same old song. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. Like a lotus coming out of the mud with colors, I create envy in those with power but jealous. I unify the poor with my song, the hell with the others. Descended the way they treat indigenous brothers, cause I understand we link forever. They try to hate us even though that we keep it together. I'm not talking about controlling the air or the weather. I'm talking about maintaining the truth, the high endeavor. A rebel drops bombs in the midst of trouble. The free world counterattack and now there's double. But nature gets the shit in a way that's subtle. If you stop the machines for a minute you might hear, but they won't cause the TV's whisper in the ear. And capitalism has eyes that don't tear, and they cloud up and get crazy and won't steer. And like an ad, it's hard to get an ass to listen. Living like this is like living in prison. It's hard to keep hope when you're living in prison. The spiritual thoughts, so yes, the mental prison. The outside, yes, it's got to get through. Something's gotta die, so something here can live. Your life is nothing if you got nothing to give. Keeping the spiritual, yes, disguised as religion. Controlling your mind, the mental prison. They want war, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. War, all they really want is a war. Diversionary tactic to make the big score. The diamonds in the morning, you know they want more, but they wanna keep you low, so they manifest the war. MC when he bustin', but I just back away real cool, no fussin'. I'd rather go kicking in the streets with the bums and use the knowledge to collect what? Some funds, open a non-profit and build a damn school. And this is the story of how a great king rules. There's many that claim to know the local demographic, graphic, but don't have the nerve to tell you the truth. It's tragic, but I do. So sit back and let me spit this shit to you. You feel better when I spit this shit to you. Despite the system trying to clamp down on the people will learn how to stand up to evil. Not evil that's across the globe, that's too far. But evil lies in their own backyard. And fighting, it's not an option, they can't win. The government, it's not supposed to represent sin. But then again they do, and that's a problem. So let's go down and figure out how to solve them. It's not fun being a rapper that can't speak, but we do, yes.